Stealing, woo, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. Check, we Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, they find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My ground repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. To the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. We Rick flaring on it. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it. We Rick flaring on it, flaring on it.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Rick flaring on him, Rick flaring on him, Rick flaring on him, Rick flaring son up.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack, Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Scotty. You already know what it is. HBCU Live Full Effect Thursday night. Listen, this is the new hotness. I'm going to tell you this. I did the first show and we got so many like congratulations. This was a great show. This, that. I mean, I literally had somebody send me a text message of how I can make this show work for another 6 weeks. Literally, somebody broke down every week how I can make it work for 6 weeks. That's how much they enjoy the show. So listen, I got with the guys to say, hey man, let's run it back. They was like, hey, let's do it. So you already know, gotta start with my guy. He was on time today. On time today. Gotta give it up. You already know what it is, Mr. 1400. My boy Zoe Phillips, what's good, Zoe?
So man, look, I'm gonna go on with the captain bag, and I told you earlier, I had a personal Cinco de Mayo today. so I'm holding. I said it gets me tonight because I feel really good right now.
We'll see how good you feel Saturday. Hey, you already know. Hey, you already know them two boys down from the Baton Rouge. Give it up for P. White and my man BJ Jones.
What up?
You're on daddy duty.
Yeah, straight daddy. She said, if you're going to be on the show, your daughter going to be on it with you.
Hey, man, this is my little sidekick, man. My other daughter, man, she's 10 now. Man, for the last couple of years, man, the first week of hunting season, she been wanting to go with daddy, you know what I mean? So I told her today, I said, hey, we'll go kill us a deer this weekend. And she said, nah, Dad, I want to kind of hang out with my friends. And yeah, she getting to that age, man. She getting to that age.
Hunt? Okay.
I saw the biggest buck today too.
Hopefully I will see some of this weekend. Yeah.
Look, in Roswell, the biggest buck like ever.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Like, let me tell you. So when I went to school in Texas for about a year, and I was kicking it with my quarterback. His dad was a dentist, and he had like these bucks on the wall. And I came in. He's like, they called me Maryland. He's like, hey Maryland. I said, what's going on, Mr. Calabria? He said, you want to go hunting with me, Maryland? I said, hunting like outside. Like he's like, yeah. He said, yeah, get you one of them bucks up there. I said, no, sir, I don't. I don't do that. Like, no, sir, I'm not. No, I'm not being a tree stand. No, that's not me. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I can't. I don't know. I just, it ain't for me. Now, deer jerky, A1. Deer, some good deer jerky, A1. But I'll eat some venison. I'll eat some deer jerky, but shooting it, nah, I ain't gonna be.
Actually, it's venison.
Is it venison? Isn't it venison?
Venison, but you know what I'm saying?
Venison.
Yeah. Deer meat.
You know, I'm cultured. Perry, you ever go hunting?
I'm a fisherman. I don't do the hunting. I fish.
Yeah, I know.
Man, we gotta get y'all boys in the woods, man.
You fly fishing right now.
Huh?
You fly fishing right now?
Oh, you like, well, yeah. I might go hunt. I don't know either way.
Look like you got a couple hooks on that.
Hey, y'all like, hey, you know, I don't know what I may do right now. I know how to fly fish. I've been fly fishing before.
Yeah, I'm not
catching a little trout. Y'all don't know nothing about that trout.
The natural state.
Oh.
Hey, come on now.
Hey, there you go.
River, baby.
that ain't me either. That ain't me.
Hold on, Scotty. Do you fish or hunt?
No.
You don't do nothing.
Why you sound like Kevin Hart when you say it?
He sure did. No.
I don't fish, nor do I. Okay, fishing is too slow for me. It just like I was scarred when I was younger, not because I like fell in the water or nothing like that. My granddad used to take me and my cousins out to the lake, and we would just sit there. And I have you ever seen Holes, like the movie Holes? Like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. He'd be like, that's too bad. You keep digging.
Yeah.
Like, that's how my granddad was. I'm like, Granddad, I'm tired of this. And he'd be like, that's just too damn bad. You keep fishing. And I never fell in love with it like my cousins did. Like,
go deep.
Man, let me tell you something. I went fishing this summer in the Everglades, and I was all good with it at first, man. We was killing, man. We was, catching a gang of fish, and then like it started like right before like it started getting dark. We looked down and like 20 feet down, it was literally a Burmese python
Ooh!
going up in the bush. I was like, "Yeah, time to go." Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Go ahead, wrap that up.
See, that fishing, when you see that snake, that's why you keep that rock or that pistol on you.
Oh, yeah, I had the thing with me, but hey, man,
Yeah. You
seeing
go
the
right through
Burmese
his hand.
python, seeing the Burmese python that ain't in the zoo will change you.
Listen, back in the day, we go fishing. You see that snake, you catch a snake or a turtle, go for the head. Gotta go and knock him up out of there. And if we're a
Gotta get
little
him
light
out
on,
of there.
if we're a little light on the bait, we got the knife. I might chop him up and cut him up. And what? That's how you fish, man. You fish off the land.
Listen,
Come on now.
now
DC fishing, it'll change you.
listen. I go
You
now.
gotta
I will
catch
go
that group
crab.
one.
I like crabbing though. I'll go crabbing. I like
That's some
crabbing.
Maryland shit, right?
I
Hold on,
like.
BJ. We'll do our best with the cussing now. I'm sorry. I see the little one. I'm gonna do my best to refrain.
The little one's sweet. She
Now
not
crabbing, I like crabbing, right? Because you can walk away. You can go. You know, you drop your crab in there. It go into the cage, and you just come back the next day, pull it up. Got about 4-5 crabs up in there. Crabbing, cool. I like crabbing. I do some crabbing. I'll do some crabbing. But the rest of that stuff, I'm good on that. I'm good on
Yeah,
that.
that fishing, man. You find you a little spot. Listen, it's all day. That's the fun part. That fight, man. So you just got to go to a spot that's hot, man. That's all.
No, I'm not, and plus I'm not cleaning nothing. Like BJ was talking about, he's like, yeah, caught it and clean it. I ain't got time. I ain't about to do all
You
that.
don't know how to scale a fish?
If I don't like fishing, you think I know how to clean a fish? Like, come on, man. Like,
you got to get your hands dirty, Scotty. You got to come up off there, man. You look like you go fishing with gloves on.
I probably would. I'm the kid from Little Giants who talks to his hands. Come on, guys. I clean.
No.
I keep it clipped.
Oh man.
Like I'm that guy. Like when my wife first met me, she was like, "Man, your hands are so soft." I said, "Cocoa butter, baby. I keep it. I can't. Hey, these are city boy hands, man. My cousins from the country, they got like calluses, and I ain't got time for all that. Nah, I ain't got time for all that. Nah, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm good. But I'm glad we're talking about food because it goes to my first question: the do's and don'ts of Thanksgiving. Now, what I mean by that, it could be your rules, what you gotta have, what better be on the table, but the do's and the don't of Thanksgiving.
The do's is they better have some damn seasoning. That's point blank, period. It better be seasoned. You know, and it's different everywhere. Like me, I like yams, candy yams. I like dressing. I like greens.
I call it stuffing. I don't call it dressing. I call it stuffing. That's just
dressing with cranberry sauce, or you can have the gravy. You can have the gravy. You got you.
Giblet. I like the giblet gravy. Look,
yeah, the giblet gravy. I like.
Or
that.
you can do both.
No cranberry sauce for me though. I'm sorry, I can't.
I like that cranberry sauce. I want some ham, brown sugar, all over it. I want it when I wake up. That's all I smell. Now I'm not the biggest turkey. All that, you know, you smell. You know that ham when you smell it because you're gonna be eating on it about a week after Thanksgiving. You're gonna be eating ham sandwiches.
Ham sandwiches. Ooh,
you know what I'm saying? You can't let that ham go to waste. And it had that pineapple on there. You know that pineapple all over the ham. You gotta have that pineapple. Now the turkey, I'm not the biggest turkey guy, but if you cut it up, maybe I'll make a couple turkey sandwiches. But I'm not big on the turkey, right?
Fried turkey, dog. Fried
turkey, my boy.
Fried turkey, smoked or fried turkey. Now we talking. Now
I went to my first Louisiana Thanksgiving some years back. A female that was cool with me invited me to her family down in New Orleans. They had duck, which was different. Now I'm not a fan of duck. It's fatty. I'm not a fan of
real oily. Real oily.
And they had seafood dressing. Now, the seafood dressing was all right. It was good. Then they had the stuffed bell peppers.
With meat or just cheese?
No, it wasn't cheese. It was kind of like dressing stuffed in the bell peppers.
Ooh, that sounds good. I'll try that. I'll do that. That sounds good. I ain't even gonna hold
you. I know you Mississippi. You for Thanksgiving. I know you like chitlins for Thanksgiving.
Oh, who is
no.
So I know you want your chitlins with
Hold
your
on,
hot
dog.
sauce.
You know, man, look, you my next door neighbor in Arkansas, dog. It ain't like you too much different.
I know about the red bucket, so I know about that red bucket.
I don't do no chitlins, dog.
You don't want the chitlins?
No, dog.
I'm straight on the chitlins too.
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
Hey, let me tell you something. My mom's chitlins, because I don't really do chitlins like in mass like that. But my mom, my sister, and my aunt do chitlins a certain kind.
Bam. See what happens when you talk about chitlins? See what happens when you talk about chitlins? See what happens?
But when the red buckets come in the house, I go out. All right, just because I just can't, but man, she does it, man. She drops 2 lemons at the bottom of the pot, but she finally gets everything clean, get the cooking. She slices up bell peppers in the joint, and it goes to work, man. And hey, man, she make it smoke now. Now, outside of hers and those other 2 people, I don't really do chitlins like that.
Now look, I need a good pecan pie. I maybe need a lemon meringue pie. I need a good pound cake. I need something along a red velvet cake. I need something.
I ain't heard sweet potato pie yet, and I'm getting upset.
Potato pie, no pumpkin pie, right? We ain't look at all this color on
No.
We ain't eating no damn pumpkin pie.
Listen. I'm probably gonna get kicked off of this show, like on my own show.
Bro,
I don't
eat pumpkin pie.
I don't do no pies. I don't do no pies. I can't.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
you don't even eat them whites only pie.
Nope.
I
don't want no whites only.
I don't do no whites only. I don't do no sweet potato. I don't do no peach pie, apple, chocolate. I don't do no pies. I don't do no pound cakes. I don't do none of that. It gotta be regular cake.
What about a casserole? Maryland, y'all probably eating casserole, some type of
casserole. Hold on, Scotty probably doing green bean casserole.
Yeah, I can see that.
I do not eat green. Listen, my mom is from Texas, my dad's from Georgia, so up in Maryland, people have crab, they'll have like ham and stuff like that, but they'll have crab on, a crab dish and stuff like that.
Question for you, because I used to live in Louisiana, so one thing that was really big down there, blue crab.
Love me some blue crab.
Listen, can I tell y'all a crazy story? So I like to go to the casino, LeBeur's Casino. They used to do seafood night before COVID. So seafood night used to be the snow crab night. Snow crab, king crab. I go in there until I'm food drunk, right? I go to sleep at the table, wake up, and keep eating. Like, that's what I used to do.
What?
Yeah, I showed out, right? A money well spent. But one night it was seafood night, and I'm thinking, all right, I've been a couple times. It's crab legs. I got in there, it was blue crab. Listen, bro, I messed over about 20 blue crabs on my table. I didn't know how to bust them down.
Yeah, and break it open in the middle and eat it. Yeah.
Listen, I was just embarrassed by all the blue crabs sitting on the table, just wasted. So yeah, I'm not the best with the blue crab.
Yeah, see, people are lazy. They want the king or the snow crab. They got the big legs. They got the big legs, crack it open, got the big long meat. Nah, blue crab. It's no different than you guys.
You got to say pause. The big long.
I was gonna
meat.
say it too. You said
My
big
bad.
long.
That's what y'all doing in Maryland. Thanksgiving.
Fred said you'll get his payback tonight.
He want that big long meat for Thanksgiving. I understand. Get your Will Smith on today. I see.
No, man, come on now. Tighten up. Tighten up.
I ain't gonna touch that.
Oh, man.
Y'all eat deviled eggs?
I love deviled eggs.
Hey, I will listen. Don't get around me. I clean the living room out after I done ate them. Listen.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Let me tell you a twist on the deviled egg. I started doing fried deviled eggs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you fry the egg and then put the thing, or you fry it all together?
You fry the egg, you know what I'm saying? You batter it, you fry it, then you put your fillings inside the fried deviled egg.
Nice.
Change your life.
Oh, man.
It's good, bro.
Listen, one time somebody put like bacon bits on top of that. I said, little bacon bits. Little bacon bits. I said, okay, I can get with that. So what you got do's and don'ts for Thanksgiving? And we'll move on.
First thing, fried turkey, collard greens, yams, mac and cheese, ham.
That baked mac and cheese at that.
Is there any other way? You can do it another way?
Yeah, you can do it you can, but you. You need that baked mac and cheese with that 3 cheese baked
Well,
mac.
hold on. I gotta say this too, because a lot of people don't know the damn. If you're gonna do baked macaroni, do not go out here and buy the already shredded cheese. I'm gonna slap you with it.
Velveeta, I get the Velveeta, right? We
do you threw a block of cheese and you shredded your damn self.
And the Velveeta.
Man, look, I promise you get some shredded cheese already made. I'm gonna take the empty bag and slap you with it.
Let me tell you, so in
Mexican bag is legit though. Stop playing though, man. That Mexican shredded cheese bag, that thing, the 3 cheese bag, the Mexican, it's a Sargento.
Man, let me tell you,
That's for tacos, man.
If you've had the cheese block that's been shredded, it's gonna change your life. It's gonna change your life.
My mama did Velveeta, so you know the
Velveeta. The problem in Louisiana that I learned now, macaroni can go left quick, right? I went one time and they said macaroni, and it was the long pasta. It was cheese spaghetti, and they was calling it macaroni.
Yes, I have seen that in Louisiana too, and in Mississippi too, though.
Yeah.
Well, they'll take it like spaghetti. Make it like macaroni. I've seen that too.
I said, man, there's some damn cheese spaghetti. This ain't no damn macaroni.
Now that chicken spaghetti do go hard. But anyway, like my thing is this. You have to season your mac and cheese, right? You can't just put milk, cheese, and egg and think that's gonna be seasoned. It's gonna be cheese, milk, and egg, and it's gonna be bland. I cannot stand when people think just because I put a lot of different cheeses in it, it's going to be seasoned. You have to season your noodles and your mixture and all that. Man, listen, boy, I've seen some beautiful looking mac and cheeses, and you dip into that joint and it tastes like you be like, what is it's so bland.
Scotty, tell me that story. Didn't you go to somebody's house one time? Was it Christmas or was it Thanksgiving? You went over there, and you know when that plate ain't good, you kind of when you put it in the trash, you put it down. You don't really want nobody to see you put it down in, and then you just push the trash down as far as it can go.
I didn't know. Listen, I knew it was gonna be a long day. I knew it was gonna be a long day because my friend invited me. He's a good friend of mine too. He's like, man, Scotty, I know you guys, you don't got no family in Georgia. Come over. We was like, okay, cool. I was like, bet. I get there. I looked at the mac and cheese and I saw like cut up sausage. I said, oh, this ain't it. I said, this ain't it. I knew it from there. I was like, this is gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. It was a long day.
You kind of put that paper towel over, you kind of fold it up a little bit, and then you try to go and sneak over there to that trash can, and you put it in. You push pressure, you apply pressure to that plate down in that trash.
Boy, you your own compactor, okay? You your own compactor.
I've been there before.
That was
we all been there.
Everything good? You want some more?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm full.
That's the worst feeling ever too. Go somewhere, man, the food is horrible. And you got to sit there and be modest. Come on, get your. I'm good. I'm full.
I'm good. Now
we got some other food, some other places to make some stops. We gotta make a couple more stops.
Yeah, go to another place. The last thing before I go, listen. For me, when the Cowboys play, because we, you know, as great as we always play every Thanksgiving, I cannot eat while the game is on. I either got to eat before the game or I got to eat after the game because the game I be too into the game and I can't enjoy my food because my stomach be turning because I be getting nervous and stuff. So that's
you get the bubble guts.
But what happened when they lose and you still ain't eat?
I'm gonna eat. It's gonna be a sorrowful. You know, I'm gonna be real sorrowful. But yeah, it's not gonna taste the same. You know what I'm saying? It just don't taste the same when we lose.
You know when the food good because you get that itis, right? When you sit there, that game come on, you unbutton your pants. You may have to unbutton a couple buttons, right? Because you got to get comfortable. I got a little gas to let out. I'm full. I might burp. I get real nasty with you.
My God, listen, this is the house we went to.
Oh.
And he's my boy. That's my boy, though.
Blaine, y'all got to season that thing next time, man. I'm sorry, Blaine, but we're talking about it.
Holler at Perry and them, man. Get you some Tony Satchels up your way. Help you out. It's great on the label. It's great on everything. It's on the box.
That's my guy, though. I love my man to death. But
Blaine, I hate we doing you like that, bro. But y'all got to do better.
You brought it up. But listen, all right, let's move on. Fox News, if you know, you know. All right, Fox News wrote an article and it said, they got Cam, and it said, we played a lot of sold-out games in Jackson, but I never played a game that was this loud where the people are engaged in the game, Simon Craig said. Like my mom and dad, I have a little sister. They hate standing up all the time, where my mom and dad had to stand up with her on their shoulders. Now, my question to you guys is this. What is wrong with the HBCU fan experience? And I'm gonna break it down in front. I saw this tweet and it said, now this tweet was underneath the article and it said, I hate when football enthusiasts say HBCU football needs to do more to get fans engaged. Tell me exactly what did the PWIs do to get engaged outside of watching the game? Serious question. And then Tori, as a black mom as she is, she said, it reads like HBCU fans aren't engaged because we aren't loud. We multitask, watch the game, trash talk, sway as the bands play, cheer, etc. All that standing, and you pay for a seat doesn't make any sense to me. That's such a black mom, I swear to God. Let me ask you guys this. You guys are connoisseurs in the HBCU. I mean, you guys have been, born in it, bred in it. Why is the HBCU fan engagement not like what we've seen on the PWI levels?
I think, in my own personal opinion, I think it's just culture. Because, and I can only speak from my experience, I can even go to the high school level, right? When you go to suburban high schools, it's the same way as if like it is at PWIs. The engagement is there, but then when you go to a public school game, you know what I'm saying, it's pretty much like going to an HBCU game. I think because I'll even say this, it's a good number of HBCU fans who have NFL teams, right? And I'm from Mississippi, all right? And vast majority of Mississippi residents or natives are either Cowboy fans or Saints fans, right? Everybody who I know from Mississippi, they go to Saints games. You ever been to a Saints home game? It's like an SEC game. And guess what? They're participating just like they would be at a Saints game. So it's the nature of how it is. So what that tells me is, it's not that they don't know how to. This is the culture. It's the way of life. Because I don't fall in the lane of HBCUs gotta try to get engagement. I don't think it's up to the schools to do it. I think we could be proactive to try to make an attempt to change some things. But I think ultimately it is what it is. It's the culture. I mean, I've been griping about it for years. You know, we'll say, oh, well, for example, we went to Texas State. Man, the atmosphere was ridiculous, right? And we'll say, oh, well, we should do this on the Jumbotron. And guess what? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Southern does it, FAMU does it, Jackson State does it, Grambling does it, Alabama State does it. They all put a meter or something up on third down. Go and ignore it. So the attempts are there. They're doing their part. It's just going to take, I think the fans are going to have to take it upon themselves to do it. But to answer your question, it's just culture, and we need to change it because we have the pageantry hand down. But the engagement, no, it's not there. Now, can we get where the ambiance is good for certain games? Yes, we can. But will it be for the entirety of the game? No, it won't. You will never go to an HBCU game. Even FAMU and Alabama State, which I think have the two best, home experiences, right? But then even them, they're not standing up for the entire game. It's just not the culture in HBCU ball that I think we need to change. But, man, to win over the masses, it's going to be a hard thing to do. But to me, it's just culture off the rip.
I think with us, man, there are some schools and there are some environments where it can get there. The problem is it's not consistent. And for too long, man, it's been recent. Outside of Southern and Jackson State, most other schools will outfit the games. They didn't wear school colors. So you could be at the stadium and not know who was playing if you were waiting to look at the shirts. People wore outfits. Now you're starting to see school colors be more of a thing. People can tell you about sitting in the stands when you stand up. Hey, sit down, sit down. Yes. It was a time when you go to an HBCU game and the person that's yelling and trying to get the defense up. People looking at them. I mean, that nigga crazy. You know what I mean? It's just it's different. And outside of a few schools, man, football is only socially important. All right, it's only socially important. And I've got a chance to witness this, right? So I got some friends that went to PWIs. When they go to the game, they take on the mentality of we're going to the game, but we are going to dictate the outcome. That's how PWI fans look at games. We are going to dictate the outcome. We're going to make this play so loud, so ruckus, so this, that it's going to be like that. It don't have to be a lot of people, right? One of the most intense games I've ever seen was Stanford and Western Carolina, and it was maybe 5,000 people there. But 5,000 people engaging into the game, it will give you a better atmosphere than 20, 30,000, and only 4,000 are engaged into the game, and everybody else, hey, yeah, that's my frat brother there. Hey, hold on, man. Oh, damn, y'all been jamming. It's like everything else going on. So it's culture.
Barry, you've been around, deep in the SEC land of LSU, being an Arkansas fan as you are. What are your points and some of the observations that you've made in the HBCU fan engagement?
I'll take it from even the high school level when I'm officiating high school games. I know when I'm at that black school, and I know when I'm at the white school. When I'm at the white school, they student section, they got chants, they up all day. When it's time to make the other team, to come up with some chant, they're gonna do it. They know your starting quarterback's girlfriend name. They know their mama's names. They know matter of fact, they've been calling your phone all week, right? It's just a different level of anticipation for the game. And let's just keep it real. Most black folks just think shit is lame. You standing up, yelling and screaming like, man, sit your lame ass. What the hell? Let's sit down. For real, let's be real. The idea of fun is different, and it is a cultural thing. I left the Southern Prairie View game Saturday and came and went to the LSU Florida game. Ask me at what point did I sit down at the LSU Florida game? When the national anthem was being played, and once the teams ran out on the field and everything got rolling, I didn't sit back down. And everybody around me didn't sit down. They yelling, they screaming. It's just a certain level of excitement. But I think us is just black folks when it comes to that. We're not exposed to that. And it's certain things that we see as lame. How many black people bird watch? Right? If you say, man, I'm going bird watching, most of your friends, you going some lame ass, you going bird watching. Just now factor all that in when it comes to a football game.
Yeah.
Most of our games, and we talk about it all the time, the vast majority of our fans aren't football fans. They're there for the fashion show. They there to be seen, and they're there simply for a touchdown. When it's third down and you need the team to get up and you hear the band playing defense, you can't get all the engagement, right? When you turn on to it, I'm going to tell you who know how to work them pom-poms. Have you ever seen Florida and Auburn fans with them pom-poms and how they work them pom-poms? They don't stop. So I just think there's an idea that we don't understand the engagement of the game, and we don't understand how big you are when you actually become that 12th man. That's why I think you see Texas A&M and with everything with the 12th man, with the stands and with the fans in the stands. It's that idea that I'm here to salute and cheer on the team. Black folks, we just for the good time. When the band play whiskey, we get up. Hey, I've been waiting on that one. You waiting on that touchdown. But when it comes to the game, it's not too engaging. And it could be the level of what we're watching in terms of football. But for me, I don't think that really matters because, like you said, you watch Stanford and Western Carolina. That's a good brand of football on the FCS level, but their fans had it on their mind to show up. And we have that issue with our student sections, right? Student sections they don't make the signs. They not booing when they need to. When the fan, it's hard to get them to get to that level. And it's just the whole concept that I just think in our minds, certain things are lame because we don't understand it.
To add to his point, I would say this. I think there's an age disparity too, because for most young black people, to echo his point, we look at things as being lame. Most young black people are worried about perception and how they do things. And if you notice, the average black person really, to add his point about bird watching, right? You'd be amazed because a lot of black people do bird watch, but they're older. Because when you get into your 30s, you tend to get more comfortable in your own skin, not worried about what people think as you age. younger black people tend to care about perception and how people view them. So a lot of times you really want to do things, but as Perry say, oh, it's lame, so I shrink. And I'm not going to really be my true authentic self, because the average HBCU fan is older. Like Jackson, a big bulk of Jackson State fan base is an older crowd. And so being that they're older, they're not going to stand up because they're older. Yes, when you look at the alumni who really give at all HBCUs, the demographic of those fans who really give and passionate and do everything within those fan bases, they're in their late 40s and 50s and 60s. True story. So just imagine if the bulk of them are going to the game, they're not standing up, and rightfully so. You got to have engagement from the student body, from the 20-year-olds, from the early 30-year-olds, right? And that's what we're not getting.
Let me ask you this, and I'm gonna kind of pivot in a little bit. The do as the Romans do, right? Because what I've noticed when I've gone to when I went to a PWI game, everybody was doing it. So when I wanted to sit down and chill, it made me seem like the oddball, right? It made me seem like, what's wrong with you? But it's the total opposite in the setting of an HBCU. If I wanted to stand, I'll never forget when I went to Dion's, when I went to my first Southern Heritage Classic, I was sitting on Tennessee State side. Key can be my witness. I stood up and I was like, it was 4th down. I stood up like, because y'all was going into the goal line. It was like a 4th and 1. And y'all was going into the goal line. And I'm getting up because I'm like, yeah, let's go. And everybody looking at me like, I said, y'all not getting up. So it's just, to me, it's a different, and I want to bring this up. I think the biggest issue that I have is that the people are there. You have the numbers. It's not like you out here with 1,000, 2,000 people. Like, I just look at it like, if you could get 70 to 60%, just half of the people that are at these games to commit and to be engaged, what the atmosphere could truly be at these HBCU games and truly have a home field advantage. But what you guys have to say about that?
I think when you look at these attendants, these are just people that's just there to see what's going on, and it is a culture that has to be created. When you have freshman seminar, right? When you bring your freshmen into the school, you have to then instill and ingrain in them, this is what we do at games. This is how we interact at games. And I think a lot of times we don't do that, because when you look around at the HBCUs, they teaching the dance. They in that mug. They done learn to dance. Or they done learn to shuffle, right? The shuffle is what they going for. The dance is what they going for. And although you have those attendants, let's think about our games. And that was homecoming numbers. Our homecomings are events. It ain't the football game. It's the events that are surrounded about the football game, right? Let's be honest. If that was the attendance for a homecoming, you know why they there? Simply for the event, because if not, that would be the attendance for all the games if they cared about the football that much. If they really want to cheer on the teams and be there. Now, some of these teams on that list can get a consistent crowd that can be there, but necessarily are they engaging with what's going on within the game? With a big play, does that interact and ultimately get them to stand up, or does it take more than that? For us, it's an event. Black college football is an event. You can get the Magic City Classic, the Florida Classic, the Bayou Classic, the Southern Heritage Classic, the State Fair Classic, and get all of these thousands of people. But what are they really there for? They're there for the event itself. All of them aren't necessarily the football fans to engage. And let's be real, a lot of people just simply aren't football fans. They're only fans of everything that's going along with it. That's the fashion, that's to be seen, that's the Greek life, and that's the party life and the tailgate life that comes along with it.
The biggest thing, I said this summer, and I said that attendance is overrated. Engagement is what matters. Look, I have always said this. The Magic City Classic is the quietest 60,000 people you've ever seen in your life. Like, it's quiet. Like this year, the loudest that it got at any point was when it was doing the halftime show. The Honeybees, the A&M did something dope as hell for their halftime show that I don't remember. All right, but if the loudest the stadium's gonna be was when the drum major makes his entrance, you're not creating a hell of an atmosphere for football. You just got a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, man, I talked to work with people that go to PWIs. They go to the game with the mentality of we going to impact the outcome of this game. And that's how they fans look at it. We are going to impact the outcome of this game. They ain't really trying to dress nice like that. You got, fraternity row where they got their little blazers on and all the white girls got their little skirts and boots on. But even they into it, right? They're into it. Our fans come and this is like, man, I ain't gonna do all that. This new fit right here, man. Get this wrinkle car.
Hey, because you get in Death Valley, it's literally deafening by the screams, the yells, and just the sheer encouragement of the fans trying to be that difference maker in the game where you get a false start. You the quarterback clapping his hand trying to get the snap off, right? Yeah. That matters, but it also you have to be taught that, and we talked about it earlier. I said even from the high school level, when I go to the schools that's particularly urban or black, I'm realizing that's not what's being taught at those schools. When I got a white school or I got two white schools, particularly when you get those private schools, oh man, look, it's different. It's completely different, and they carry that into college life with them if they decide to do that. And mom and dad pretty much probably does the same thing. You may be at the game, stand up, yelling your mom and dad, sit your ass down.
Yeah.
Because the folks behind you can't see.
Yeah.
Because black folks, when we go to the game, we need that seat cushion, right? We need that back because we're trying to sit down. We ain't trying to stand up the whole time. My back, my legs, all of that plays a factor. But I think it's just a culture that has to be created. And for a lot of us at the HBCUs, we come from predominantly black high schools. And at our predominantly black high schools, the athletic perspective of engaging in the game isn't quite there. You at the game trying to holler at females. For the females, you trying to holler at guys. What you doing? You walking around. You trying to be seen. Hey, I got the latest Jordans. Hey, you see this this design I got on? It's all of that, and that carries over into college. For me, that's my opinion.
The thing for me is this. When I went to Howard, I got the best of both worlds, right? Because I saw the fit game, right? I'm looking at these girls walk by. I mean, the girl, listen, it's cold up here. Girl got a midriff. I said, girl, what is wrong with you? Literally like belly out. I'm like, me and Key over there holding on to each other because we brick, it's brick out here. But then in the same vein, Kenny Gallup's mom and aunts, they in the stands with their cowbells getting it. And it was so, like, at first you can see people turning around like, oh, they doing too much. But by the second and third quarter, when she did not stop, she didn't give a damn. Everybody else was up, stumping on the bleachers. I wish I had a cowbell because I would have been out there ring a ding. No homo. God dog it. No homo. God dog, that's the second time I did that. I'd have been out there ringing that bell too. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's what Zoe said, but it's the mindset is I do not care what people think of me. And that's the biggest hurdle for black people is the perception, or people gonna say I'm lame or that wasn't cool or whatever. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if I'll ever see the day at a HBCU where there's a line of black people and says like JSU sucks or Slughorn, with their stomach, with the writing on their stomach and they spell Slughorn out or something like that. I don't think I ever seen that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I would love to see it because I think if people really understood what that environment would become, it would be contagious. I really do think it would become contagious.
I can tell you from a personal experience real quick, twice. I got kicked out of a basketball game, a Southern basketball game. Too much of a fan. I was behind the opposing team bench and I was giving them the business before I know what the police was like, yeah, bro, you got to go. And I'm like, for what? For being, no, bro, you got to go. And when Southern played Texas Southern and the game was coming down to the end, I told you I went in the stands, right? I'm in the stands and everybody else around kind of just sitting down, just waiting on how the game gonna go. And I'm up, beating on the bench, the seats. I'm up around. I'm telling everybody to get up. Folks just looking at me like, and then even I'm looking at the cheerleaders. I'm like, what? This ain't the time to do stunts. This is the time to get the crowd engaged, to get chants, and to do everything you can to get the fan engaged. And people was looking at me crazy. So I'm typically always, when I go to games, I'm the black dude that does look crazy because I'm very much so engaged. I'm loud, I'm boisterous, and I would say anything because I'm at a football game or a basketball game. I am a fan. And yes, sometimes I do feel more at home when I go to a PWI game because I feel more accepted by what I'm able to do more so than I'm at the HBCU game and they looking like, nigga, sit your ass down, you lame man. You know that. And for most people, for me, I don't care. But like Zoe said, a lot of people do care about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be a moment for the kids to feel like this is a moment to Snapchat. Oh, let me Instagram this. Let me Facebook. They looking for that type of moment. Instead of putting it down and just having fun, they looking for that next viral moment by what's happening around them instead of creating the viral moment themselves.
Man, how many black high schools, from a football standpoint, actually have student sections?
I say zero. At least, but I've seen.
I
Hold on, say that again, BJ.
How many black high schools have you seen
For the student section.
in football that actually have student sections?
Oh, I can tell you, every Friday and Thursday I'm doing the game, zero. You lucky to even have people at the game.
Like, I mean, here in Atlanta, I mean, the black high schools draw well, right? And they draw well, but the most of those kids up under the stands. You go to the concession stand, it's packed up under there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody up under there. But I tell you what, man, when coaching, man, those were schools that we went to. Greater Atlanta Christian was one of them. Grayson was one of them. Their student sections had the big heads. They had the neon lights. They had everything coordinated. Man, we come into the game and we're gonna make it hell on the other team. And like Zoe said, like Perry said, they take that same mentality that they had in high school. The kids that paint themselves. You got a group from Buford that does the green and gold shoulder pads with the spikes, like the guy from Georgia.
Wow.
Like they take that same mentality from high school and take it to college, and we take that same mentality of, up under the bleachers, man. Shout it right there in the red. You see that? Hey, what's up, red skirt? And like that's what it is.
And they'll sit in the rain. They'll take their shirts off in the cold.
Yeah.
Where you think black folks finna go?
Like they coming.
We ain't going to that damn game. It's too cold. We ain't going out there today.
The women too. They do it too. Look, I can tell you what, in my whole entire life, I can count on one hand how many times I see somebody at Jack State game with body paint on.
Whoa.
True story. True story.
Wow. Okay.
The cats got to show they designer, man. Them chicks, they got to show the designer.
But I do want to say this while I got y'all here. It didn't always be that way. I remember in the 80s where the fandom was a whole lot better. Matter of fact, Southern, Mama Jag, they had a well-known popular fan, Mama Jag, right? And matter of fact, I don't even know if you can pull up the clip. We did on our show one time. You can pull up the clip. Pull up the Southern Jack State game in 1996. Look at the pregame. So, like that ambiance was there at once upon a time. You can pull it up pregame, and all you're gonna see is and this is before kickoff. So like the ambiance has been there. In the 80s, it was like this, man. Whenever you had the Soul Bowl in the 80s, it was guaranteed fights in the stands. Like it was rowdy, and the fan base was into it. So that ambiance was there at a time. I don't know if it just happened at the curtail toward the end of the 90s where it just kind of faded away. But man, the moment we hit that Y2K, man, we just backslid. It ain't been the same.
Because though everybody became too cool for school. Unfortunately, that's what it was. Everybody was too cool to do that. Everybody wanted to be the cool person. Nobody wanted to be the difference maker. And I think that was the big thing. Everybody trying to be too cool.
Do you think my last question for you guys? I'm gonna have you guys answer it, and we're gonna move on. Do you think taking the band out of the game, the way the rules have changed the atmosphere of HBCU games?
No.
I don't think so. I think it just cut down on the amount of noise that's going on. I mean, the only thing the band gonna do is be the noise that you actually want the crowd to make when you at a snap count. you know, and that's the only difference. But I don't think taking the band away from playing while the ball is in play. Now, high school football, the rule is here in Louisiana, the bands can play throughout the game no matter what. There's never a point where they have to stop playing unless you're in a dome. And of course, you're only in a dome when it's state championship time.
Yeah.
But other than that, a band can play anytime during the game, and it's no difference. But I think for the HBCUs, what we do, it doesn't make a difference. It actually, for me, it then gives you time to start selling your ads and doing everything else that you're doing on the big board and giving opportunities for marketing. So one thing about it, the bands kind of took over the game. You know, and for me, I love bands, but I think a football game is for a football game. It's not a battle of the bands. I love the 0 quarters. I love the 5th quarters. Yep. You ain't got to do all that blowing in the game for me. Play the spirit songs. Give me, I'm so glad. Give me to do what you want. Is let your mind be free to fight. So that's the game spirit stuff. I don't have to hear all that blowing stuff. I hear that before the game and after the game. And the game kind of gotten taken over to where it turned into a battle of the bands while the game was going on. And band directors actually just stopped acting like that was a football game.
Well, look, I think we all probably agree. I don't really care about the band playing. The thing is probably get on all of our nerves is, number one, the disengagement with the band for the game. And then number two, what's the purpose of sectionals at a damn game? Ain't no point being proven. Why are just trombones getting up blowing against the other trombones? Like, ain't nothing being proven. You know what I mean? And so my thing is, but they can do that after the game. I mean, that's the only thing. There's no purpose for sectionals. I've always said, man, look, football is the entree, band is the sides. You know what I'm saying? We have to have it. We're not going to sit denied because that's part of the culture. It's part of the pageantry, and we welcome it. I'm a band head myself, but football is the entree. The purpose, it's a football game. It doesn't say it's a band. It's a band meet and greet. You have a battle of the bands, which we just had, right? So they played Jack State. That was the battle of the bands, and they could do that whole thing there. Funny when a damn sectional played at the battle of the bands Sunday. But there's no point of that being done at a game. But to answer your question, man, no, we need that. The bands just need to get more engaged with the follow-through with the game. But guess what, though? In the 90s, in the 80s, you had that. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's been curtailed. Why? I can't answer that. I don't know. But if you go back, like I told you, if you get a second, even if you want to show them, SU versus JSU 1996, look at it. I'm telling you, you can feel the energy through the screen when you watch it.
Man, and another thing, bands, they'll be playing when your team is on offense. Like, bro, you're not even watching the flow of the game to understand. You need it quiet when your team is on offense, right? It's like the band directors also don't understand how the flow of the game is supposed to go. You want to play and you about to kick a field goal. Man, get quiet in here. Your team is up on offense about to snap the ball and you blowing to the point the ref got to say.
I'll never forget that at the Orange Blossom Classic where Shador was backed up in his own end zone and the band started playing. I looked up. I said, if that ain't the dumbest thing in the world, I said, what are we doing? And then he had to call a timeout because he had to turn around and tell the band to stop.
Dude, every time we get in the red zone, listen, even now, every time we get in the red zone, literally we're on the 10-yard line. Hey, JSU fans, it's 1st and goal on the 5. What do we want? TD. What's that? Touchdown like we're on offense. Shut up. Every time. Every time.
Oh my God. Hey man, look, I saw that a couple of times this year. I ain't gonna lie, man. The DJ was the Alabama A&M Tuskegee game. He was like, yeah, we getting ready to score. Let's make some noise. I'm like, no, you're supposed to shut up. Like, bro, let me tell you, I saw this. This was I forgot what game this was. The kicking team was trying to come on the field to kick. The team who was coming on to the field to kick, this like 3 seconds left in the ball game, field goal to win it. Their trombones like, what are we doing? Like, it's like, what the hell are we doing? Like, and that irks me, man. And important points of the game where you need to be supporting the team, it's all about sectionals and battling someone else. One thing that I can say about Southern and Jackson State, they are great bands, but they are great football support bands. All right, is Southern the football support band it used to be? No, because we got some gripes about them too. But if we talk about football support bands, I think that Southern and Jackson State probably does it better than anybody.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's move on. Now, I saw this on Twitter as well. I wanted to get you guys' opinions. HBCU Sports, I believe that's Ken Richard and them guys. He said, boy, it seems like some fans want big name personalities with no experience to be head coaches instead of candidates who've actually applied the trade. Getting to the celebrity hires of everything like that. What are you guys' opinions on celebrity hires? Good, bad? You know what I'm saying? What is your thoughts on celebrity coaches and going forward of them being involved in HBCUs?
Zoe, I think you should pop this one off.
I mean, honestly, I'm not against it, but I'm not for it either. I'm not even trying to be Switzerland in my answer. The reason why I say it is, man, even if you got a well-versed coach with great success, it's still a crapshoot. At the end of the day, it really, really is. There is no go this way, this is going to work, or go this way, it don't work, because the data shows all the scenarios. You can have an unproven coach who's come in that's never had a head coaching job and have success. Will it be instantaneous? I think that's probably the main thing people are looking for, first-year success. But if you look at the overall scope on any level of football, how many first-year coaches have great success in their first year? Most time, a good year is moderate success, right? But you're not going to be blown away with like a 9, 10, or 11 game win season in your first season. But you want to see something trending. But again, I see both ends of it. When you talk about celebrity coach, it just comes down to, it's not so much of having a name, because let me just say this too. I don't like the name celebrity coach. The reason why I say it is because Prime is one of one. And that's he's an outlier. But the SWAC has been hiring former NFL players. This is nothing new. It happened in the 80s and it happened in the 90s and the 2000s as well. Stump Mitchell was a former NFL player and NFL coaching pedigree, but he didn't win at Southern.
Monty Coleman at UAPB.
Monty Coleman. Yep. We've had former NFL players. The thing was, they just didn't have as big of a name. But again, who's Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
So I'm saying he's an outlier. But I mean, again, I don't think we like splash. We like panache. We like pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's unknown, it's something that we can grab and hold on to, right? Because it's a brand new thing. I want to prop up my new toy because I want to talk shit to everybody else because we got this new great hire and y'all don't. That's where it stems from. But at the end of the day, if I go get a football lifer who's a no name, but hell, he comes in and kick everybody's teeth in, then it's a great hire. Like, it's on record. The day Florida State hired Mike Norvell, I said they made a damn good hire. Oh man, he ain't gonna win. I said yes, he is, because his pedigree shows it. And damn, what is he doing this year? But he had to build to it. Look where he is now. And now it's looking like what? They made a damn good hire.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, there is no right or wrong way. You just have to make a sound decision what you feel is best for your school. Also, even if you decide to get a celebrity coach, whatever is done, for example, let's just say at UAPB, there are certain parameters within the state and the confines of their school that's going to make it successful. Every school in every situation is different. And so just because something works at Pine Bluff under these parameters with the celebrity coach doesn't mean I can take a celebrity coach at, let's just say, Southern Grade to hire a coach and it's going to work there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could take Southern, even now, they could take probably an unknown. Matter of fact, I tell you what, Pete Richardson, he was off the beaten path when they got him. Look what he became at Southern. It wasn't when they hired him like, oh, Southern got Pete Richardson. It was none of that. But look what he did the moment he got there. They were the team of the 90s. So when Jackson State got W.C. Gordon, he wasn't a big hire. He was a holdover from the previous staff. Look what he did in the 80s. So, and then you go to the 2000s. Now watch this. Grambling broke the mold. You know why? They brought Doug Williams in. But here's the thing. He wasn't just a celebrity coach. He had success at Morehouse. Bringing him back. But yeah, he's Doug Williams, but he's a former alum. Yeah. Came in, turned Grambling around in the 2000s. So there's both ends of the spectrum that you can actually get. So,
all right. BJ.
Man, for me, I think that everyone saw what happened with Deion Sanders at Jackson State, and they're trying to replicate that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's only one of him. There's only one of him. Everyone's chasing and trying to replicate what Jackson State did. And I'll tell you this: it all depends on where you are as a program. Some hires as a program you make, you can't gamble. You got to take the surest shot that you can take. Sometimes you're in the position where the program is up, you can gamble a little bit. So I think it's all depending on where you are
Point.
and where you are when you make that hiring decision.
That's a good point.
All right, Perry, what you got?
I don't like the term. Maybe we need to use and change it from being a celebrity, right? Because I think that term has really turned everything the wrong way. Saying celebrity, when we say celebrity, all we saying is a former NFL guy. That's basically all we saying.
Pretty
So
much.
I think they need to take that word celebrity, because if you're talking about celebrity, we're gonna hire Usher to be our next football coach at Southern. You know what? Who we gonna hire? Damn, Chris Brown. Those are celebrities, right? Just because you're a former NFL guy does not make you a celebrity. You know, and think about it. Eddie Robinson Jr., he's a former NFL guy. Bubba McDowell at Prairie View, he's a former NFL guy.
That's
I
fair.
mean, is Hugh Jackson a celebrity? No, he's just a former NFL head coach.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't like the term celebrity. I don't like that term. And I think that's what we need to take away. And even with Dion, I don't even want to say celebrity. He's just a NFL. Well, he's a NFL superstar. He's an NFL
Celebrity.
superstar.
Which makes him a celebrity.
I get it. But he's still an NFL superstar. So let's just say, do we want NFL superstars, right? And that seems like that's what people want. It ain't necessarily
The Ray Lewis's, the Ed Reeds. Yeah, the
that's
NFL.
an NFL superstar. That's not necessarily a celebrity, because a lot of those guys don't carry celebrity status with them. They're just well known. And I hope people realize there's a difference with that. They may not be internet savvy with social media, but when they show up, everybody wants to be in their face because of the superstar status that they bring along. So that's where I'm at with it. I think we got to see Snoop Dogg. That's a celebrity, right?
He ain't gonna be
So
no
for
good. He
me-
ain't smoking no more.
Yeah, I just heard about
Yeah,
that.
he ain't smoking no more.
He's not smoking.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we just got to take celebrity out and just say former NFL guys. But the thing about it, let's be real. That's a superstar. That is a celebrity, right?
You
That's
fit
a
in though.
celebrity hire.
You fit in.
Like Eddie George at Tennessee State was not a celebrity hire. He was just a former NFL superstar.
Yeah.
And it's tiers to it.
Facts.
Everybody who was good don't necessarily mean they're a superstar.
That's right.
Right?
You know.
They were just some good football players that when you see them, you kind of get starstruck because you watch them on television and you want to get their autograph or you want to take a picture with them. That don't make them a celebrity. Just make them you a fan of what they did in the game. And every coach who played in the league don't bring that with them to say that they're a celebrity. But to say NFL guys, we've been doing that. So I think for a lot of people, they have not done their research to realize the swag and the MEAC, this ain't nothing new. It was just Dion coming with the TV savviness, social media savviness that was different and stood aside from everybody else. But to say former superstar, Doug Williams was a superstar. Simple as that. He was a superstar. But we got to understand that guys have gone to the league and guys have come to our school. Because Ed Reed ain't a celebrity. He's a NFL star. He's not a celebrity.
I give you that. I'm gonna give you my logic behind superstar coaches. We won't say celebrity, NFL superstar coaches. I look at it like this. This is my logic behind it. And I'm gonna use Chennis Berry. Let's say you have Ed Reed and Chennis Berry at Southern, right? I'm not pushing anyway. I'm just giving you my scenario. If you lose with Chennis Berry and lose with Ed Reed, losing with Ed Reed is still better in my mind because of the resources potentially Ed Reed could bring to Southern University if it's played out right. If you win with Chennis and Ed Reed, it's still he's going to have you on every major outlet of why Southern is this and Southern is that. So to me, like Zoe said, it's a crapshoot with anybody. But I'd rather go down with my ship paved in gold than wood. That's just me personally. So if I have an opportunity to set it up right, and I think at the end of the day, what Zoe talked about in the last show is all the background, the concessions, and all those things have to make sense for the institution as well as the individual. But that's just my logic when it comes to either hiring a regular coach compared to a celebrity coach. Now, listen, if you want to hire a regular guy, hire a regular guy, because I mean they come a dime a dozen. Like Kendrick Wade could be fired tomorrow. You don't think Valley gonna find a head coach? Somebody breathing and who likes football is gonna want to be a head coach at Valley because they want to be a head coach. So
look at the FCS top 25, right? Who's a NFL superstar of the teams that's in the FCS top 25?
None.
Right. You don't necessarily need that to build a program. You want that from the marketing standpoint, right? That's all. There are good business-minded coaches who we would call quote unquote CEOs. You don't necessarily need this quote unquote NFL superstar to boost your program. That's just for the clicks of social media and whatever else. That's for the wow factor. The same way when we say when fans come to the game, are they engaged in the game because it's football, or are they engaged just to be seen because it's the event? This is going back to that because, look, we're looking for the event if we're looking for superstar coaches. You're looking to add to the event. There are plenty of guys out there that can be coaches that don't necessarily have to have a superstar status with them. There are plenty former NFL guys who are good, respectively, within their careers, and we don't even know who they are. Right? They wasn't a household name, but don't mean they can't come in and teach a position. And the same way of guys who put in the work out here who have been position coaches and coordinators and worked their way up. Like I say, look at the FCS top 25 and go through it and tell me who's a big name guy that you know. And you probably can't name 3 or 4 guys that's FCS coaches but have top programs. You don't necessarily need that for your program to be successful. You just need a guy that come in with a fit. Now, if you want an ambassador, that's good. You can bring in the guy that's an ambassador and he's around your program and he can hype your program up because guess what? Hey, what Ocho Cinco did. I'm at FAMU.
But he's not doing a very good job of ambassading. I'll tell you that because he is that. I don't see the point of that because I rarely see Ocho Cinco talk about FAMU, if I'm being honest. Now, he might have to cheer on, but he don't talk about him. But go ahead.
Well, I'm just using that as an example. If that's the case, because when we get these superstar guys in, you're going to want him to be the AD and the football coach. You're going to want him to be the commissioner. You're going to want him to have a lot of hats. And we don't know how he's going to react when the first sign of trouble. And we saw that with Ed Reed. The first sign of trouble, what did he do?
My thing is, this is my thing, and I'm going to let Zoe and BJ pick it up and we can move on. My only thing when it comes to Ed Reed in the situation, I don't know how much was told to him up front. That's the only thing that I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because how transparent was Bethune about their situation? Who knows? I don't know. But I think if you have the right AD with the right mindset that can have a great partnership with, because that's what it takes. It takes the president, the AD, and all of them to be on one page and one accord to make that thing work. Zoe and then BJ, and then we'll move on.
I was going to say the first thing, to something that you said earlier about, you'd rather go with Ed Reed because of, what he can do from like maybe a facility standpoint or what he can actually give. I wouldn't go so far to say that that's something that's a given, even if he say it, because we still using Deion as that example. You know what I'm saying? And again, Deion himself is connected in ways that even other superstar NFL players aren't connected to. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's an outlier. And then to a point that Perry made about the marketing, that's still a whole Deion Sanders thing. Because for an example, let's just say even Ray Lewis were to come in, it would get some traction because it's him. But even Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis will not be the first NFL Hall of Famer to coach in the SWAC or even the coach at an FCS program. But the thing is, Ray Lewis doesn't have the marketing coming with him. He doesn't. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to really take a look at that because those two things don't match up. And that's what I'm saying. That's how much of an outlier that Deion Sanders is. And I think we get it, but then we still sell ourselves short on the whole big scheme of it. Because again, when it comes to like the whole marketing thing or like social media presence, right? Well, if we talk about just the HBCU landscape, let's be real. It's really going to hit with FAM, Jackson, and Southern, and maybe A&T.
Yeah.
It ain't going to hit with Tennessee State. It ain't going to hit with Grambling.
Yeah.
It's not going to hit with Hampton. I say maybe Howard, but that's just for the school, not from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about marketing and that traction, it ain't gonna hit like that. It ain't. Just like I'm gonna say this. And I promise you, on my daughter, this ain't no dig to nobody. But when some people say why Prime chose Jack State, I say, well, Jack State played a part in it. He could have went to Southern or FAM or Grambling. They don't have the optics, and Prime wanted that. Because let's say he was at FAMU, right? And they sell out Bragg. Man, Bragg holds 24,000 people, man. And it's a small double-sided stadium. Say what you want, but the Vet look like an SEC stadium. Now, we're not selling that thing out every week, but it's the optics of it.
I get
like
you.
The Vet is bigger than Colorado Stadium. And when he was here, we were packing that thing. You see what I'm saying? So it was the perfect thing. I'm not wrong about the optics. It is what it is. I mean, it gained traction because so it was like, oh, damn, look what he did for that school. They were probably only getting about 20-some thousand, but when he came, they're getting 60,000. You're not getting that nowhere else. You don't have the, and what I mean by that is you don't have the ability to. For an example, and BJ, they all know my line. If Southern had a bigger stadium, then they could do it. But they're confined to what they have. You see what I'm saying? Mumford hosts 28,000. Yeah, it looked good, Pat, but 28.5 or 60. You tell me which one gonna hit different. And I'm talking about just the optics of it.
I get you.
Again, Southern could get it if they have a bigger stadium. FAM probably could get it if they have a bigger stadium. And maybe Bama State can't do it. But I'm saying if they had a bigger stadium, but not 60, they're not getting it. But if they had like a 40,000 seat stadium, they probably could get about 30,000 in there.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the optics played a point. So I'm adding to your point about what Perry said about the whole marketing thing. Perception is everything in what Prime is doing, because in order to sell something, you got to perceive something for me to sell it to you. And that comes with marketing, and he's a master marketer. So to add to your point, when we talk about a Ray Lewis or Ed Reed, yeah, they come in, it's going to have some traction because it's who they are, but that's going to fizzle out because Ray Lewis can talk, but he ain't Prime.
BJ, you just point.
Look, like I will say this. When I hear the discussion about celebrity coaches, usually one of the first things that are brought up about what a celebrity coach could do for school X, Y, or Z is doing something that either the athletic director has fell short on, the school's president has fallen short on, the school's lack of marketing has fallen short on. It's to get someone to come in to pick up the slack on something that you should have been already doing all along. So this guy's coming in and he's raising money. If I got a coach that's coming in and raising money, then what the hell is my athletic director doing? Why isn't he shaking hands in the city, talking to these businesses, these corporate sponsors, and so forth? You need a guy that's gonna come in and uplift your program, and it might be a celebrity, right? But I'm just looking at the celebrity hires that have been made, and not just HBCUs. There's been some other celebrity hires that have been made. They, for the most part, have been failures. But I will say this, doing some research, every 10 press conferences that you have for a coach, 7 of those coaches are going to fail. We always think that we have a press conference dude come out, he got the gift of gab, he going to be here for 10 years, he going to leave, he going to retire, and he going to have 3 or 4 championships. That's rare, less than 30% of the time. Most of your hires are going to be failures. So I kind of feel what Scotty's saying. You want to fail up or you want to fail down. It all depends on where your program is at the time.
There's the point. There's the point.
If you're gonna fail with the gold ship. Like if it's gonna go sinking, at least I got some gold with. That's my
hey, quiet as kept. BJ just said something like it actually shows the ineptitude of multiple people if you're relying on one person to come in and get it done.
That was a bar. That was a whole bar. That was a whole bar.
And can I ask, how much is it helping Tennessee State?
Oh,
Tennessee. I will say this. The theme is it's 2 things that's going against Tennessee State. The alumni giving from an athletic standpoint is down. All right. It's bad. But having it, Eddie George would not work anywhere else but Tennessee State. He's a Titan. He played in the Super Bowl. He played on one of the greatest Titan teams ever. Eddie George, by being in that community, having the connections that he has with Jeff Fisher and some of those other people and with corporate Nashville, it's giving Tennessee State, that program, some money that they would have gotten from the alumni now that they're able to apply to that football program. And I know that he's not winning big, but from a financial standpoint, that program was literally bleeding out. And he helped patch up some of that bleeding.
And so I guess I would say to two things. It seems situational to get the right fit for a guy in which is familiar within that area. But at the same time, he's begging for fans to come to the games.
True.
You know, so he is. And once again, I hope we can get rid of saying celebrity and just say superstars, because that's what we want. We want NFL guys, right? If Denzel Washington say, I want to start coaching footballs, that's celebrity football hire, right? We got Denzel Washington.
Hey, you got Coach Boone on the sideline. I'll take Coach Boone. I'll take Coach Boone.
But you know, what is it doing? Because I don't see the marketing going crazy for Tennessee State. I see Eddie George pulling every which way, and what he's doing off the field goes back to what you're saying, BJ. You got an AD, you got associate ADs, you got people who are supposed to be doing the work around the program. And I think one thing about it is, when these guys come in and they get overwhelmed, all right, I already got to deal with football operations, recruiting, and doing all of these other things. Now you want me to go do AD duties? And I think you saw Deion criticizing everybody left and right, from when he was at Swag Media Day to everything else about what the hell are we doing, right? He felt like he had to wear the hat of everybody. And once again, Deion is the anomaly. But then you start to get other guys in. Do they want to work in that big job title of the man with many hats, or do they simply want to coach football and be here to be able to field a football team and recruit? That's the outside things that's going to come with that. I believe that a lot of guys may not truly be built for.
Well, and I think that's why I said you have to have an honest conversation, and you have to, and the AD, the president, all have to be on one accord of understanding what this relationship is and what it's going to be. Because to me, like BJ said perfectly, is why do I have you if you can't raise money? What are you doing as an AD that can't raise money? Now I got to bring in a guy who's going to do your job and his job and try to do it successfully. It's going to be, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm never against it. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, try to do it in the best way possible that works for your institution. What's up, Zoe? Last point.
One last thing, too. Another thing to BJ's point, I think ADs and presidents and associate ADs, I think they all have to work together and actually use this concept that the work that they do will make the job attractive.
That's good.
The one thing about it, we always look at low-hanging fruit when we talk about, you know, wins and losses, but, you know, what constitutes and what played a role into the wins and losses outside of the team, because it's not just the players on the field. It's how much, you know what I'm saying, are you going to donate, not just fans, I'm talking about like, you know, donate and put the coach in the best position to succeed. How well are you going to support that coach? And so outside of the team, right, you know, what other things, what tangible things are being done to where the president, AD, and everybody else within the athletic department are going to do to make the job attractive, because they themselves have a distinguished job that they can do, a role that they play to make the job attractive.
I like that. I like that. All right, let's move on. Next up, hey, listen, it's a free for all out here in these streets. It is a free for all. It's a lot of open positions. If you see in the back corner, just hide.
You got A&M maybe.
they peeking out. You know, we might be there, right?
You should have threw Alcorn with a maybe too.
Damn, I should have put it right behind Texas Southern. But guys, in the field of what you're seeing, if you were a head coach, what is the best? And knowing, and you guys know a lot of these circumstances that a lot of these institutions have to go through, their fan bases, right? With all that understanding, what is the best available job available? I guess I can say that. Double available.
BJ, you want to go first?
Well, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Southern and South Carolina State.
Okay.
I don't know which order that you want to put them in. Let me take South Carolina State, because I know there's not a lot of South Carolina State MEAC people on here, right? South Carolina State has more NFL players on active rosters than any other team in FCS.
Ooh.
I didn't say black college football. I didn't say the MEAC. They got more players on active rosters than anyone else in the FCS. The other two schools that are up there with them are North Dakota State and Montana. And James Madison is up there too. South Carolina State has a knack of doing more with less. And when they got it rolling in Orangeburg, that is an amazing place to watch a ball game. I remember when Buddy Pugh had them rolling the end of the late 2000s, the 2009-ish, 2010-ish, and going up there for a ball game, man, when it's rocking, it's rocking. And of course, man, Southern is Southern. Southern has the Jaguar Nation. You got the fans. But with that comes a lot of responsibility. You're not gonna be able to talk about going 7-4 and think it's gonna be impressive. When you're at Southern, the expectation is you either go win the championship or you competing for it. And if you're not gonna be able to do that, we will run you out of Baton Rouge.
Clearly. We've experienced that. Perry, best available job.
For me, I would say the best available job is Southern University, hands down. The support, the game recognition, and the ability to play in the venues that Southern has the ability to do, and the traction that it brings even when they on the road. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, it goes back to BJ's point. You have to be ready, because I think for Eric Dooley, he realized in year 2, this is not a place where people are going to be lenient.
You
right?
say who?
You know who I said.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
You know, you look at Texas Southern, you look at A&M, and then think about the media coverage. I had this conversation with a friend earlier, and one of the things I said about Eric Dooley that I think really hurt him.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci.
Was his lack of media training. When you at Southern, you have to deal with the media, because at Prairie View, he didn't have weekly Tuesday press conferences where the media was coming in from Houston and he had cameras and people questioning and write-ups. At Southern, you dealing with the Monday coaches call. Then after that, he's headed to a coaches show in which people are watching because they are so in tune with what is going on within the program, and they're listening to you. And then on Tuesday, you had a press luncheon with all of the media and the Advocate. And when you get the evening news, the 6 o'clock news, the 5 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, they're going to talk about the Saints and the Pelicans. They're going to talk about LSU, and then there's going to be Southern. You are prime time for people to be knowing what you are doing in your program, and they're going to be listening to what you're saying is happening in your program. A&M may not get that coverage like that. Texas Southern may not get that coverage like that. South Carolina State, Clark, Atlanta. You will have a little bit more room to wiggle without the pressure being put on you of everybody watching and listening to every single thing that you're doing because of the brand. And for Southern, whoever takes that job, you have to be ready. And that's what I thought with Eric Dooley. He didn't understand the political side of
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
He didn't understand the political side that sometimes you got to kiss the babies. You got to hug the people. You just can't go in and feel that it's my way and I'm going to tell you how I feel. No, you got to be delicate with the fan base and you got to lead them on. And that's where the people came with the arrogance, right? So I think right now Southern is the best job, but you got to have tough skin, but you also got to know how to be political like a politician. You get a politician, when the lights go off, he may call you all type of names, but when the lights on, he gonna tell you everything you want to hear. Southern is that job. You got to be in a position to tell the people what they want to hear to keep them engaged, because they will unplug and be disengaged quick, like Southern and the Jaguar Nation was last year with listening to Eric Dooley when he said, absolutely not.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
You know, when he said absolutely not, I would not change quarterbacks. And then even when they asked him this year, when a FAMU game, would you have changed anything? Absolutely. You can't sit on TV and have the Advocate writers writing about you and all news stations writing about you, and then us coming on here talking about you, right?
Yeah.
You just can't do that. So Southern is the best job available, but you got to have thick skin. I think those other jobs, Texas Southern, Clark Atlanta, South Carolina State, and maybe Alabama A&M, they give you a little bit more room for error if you're a guy and really want to come in and build a program. But for Southern, you better be coming in ready to win as soon as you hit the door.
Zoe, best available job.
I'm gonna say Southern, but I also want to add that it's clearly Southern, but I think what South Carolina State can present, you can actually grow South Carolina into something. Like you're following up behind Buddy Pugh, but I think South Carolina State, with the state of the MEAC and what it's in now, being that they have 5, you got 5 conference games, and the resistance in that conference is so low. But I think South Carolina State can actually present an opportunity for growth that I don't really think that you'll get at a Southern or even a Jackson State, for the example, because they've already reached so many highs and they have a certain perception. They have a name. Like South Carolina State has a name, but like they're not considered a blue blood in HBCU ball. But they still, though they won the most conference championships in MEAC history, they still, from a perception standpoint and like a claim, not just an HBCU ball, because they're cementing the HBCU ball, but I think they have the potential with the right coach. I'm speaking of like a coach coming in winning, obviously.
Yeah.
That he can take the program to new heights. It can't happen at A&M, if they were to come open. They have too much working against them in Huntsville and just of where they are, even if they were to have success. Same thing with Clark, and then even, who was the other school?
Texas Southern.
And see, like I mentioned earlier about the presidents, right? Texas Southern has a lot working against it. The only attractive thing about Texas Southern is it's in Houston. But that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because the only thing that's going to be attractive is it's in Houston and I'm in Texas with the possibility of recruiting Texas recruits, right? But again, they've been a perennial loser and the optics aren't there. It's so much working against it. So it's an unattractive job, to be honest, in my opinion. But again, somebody's going to take it just because it's a head coaching opportunity. But Southern is clearly, the best job, that you would take out of these, no question. But I just think, because I think even for us, Dion, it was mostly him. Even though we won 2 years in a row, it was him that actually added more lure to it because of who he is. But I think even if Southern, because we're pretty much neck and neck in conference championships, I think if Southern were to go, let's just say Southern hires somebody, and let's just say they win, 3 straight conference titles, and that's the thing that I think that hurts us in where we are, because it's like, even if you have somebody have that great of success, where is it going to take them? Because I always look at A&T. When A&T got there, when Rob Broadway was there, they had these FBS wins, and I made the comment. I was like, well, damn, all the things that they did, you can't even tell that it happened. You can't even tell that it's like it never did happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I was like, but watch this. I said, but let that have been a school to swag that did what A&T did. It would have hit different.
Yeah.
Because of all the other stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think, when you talk about, Southern, I think, again, not to get long-winded, Southern the best job.
All right. Your chin is Barry. Everybody on here's chin is Barry. I just need a simple answer where you're going. Perry White, where you going? Your chin is Barry. Where you going?
I'm serious.
I know the Southern fans will want me to say Southern, but if I'm Chennis Berry, I'll look at South Carolina State.
Okay, BJ, your Chennis Berry, where you going?
Let me tell you something. Knowing what I know, you don't go to South Carolina State over Southern. There are some financial difficulties at South Carolina State that they're trying to get out of the hole. South Carolina State can't pay you what Southern can pay you. They can't offer you what Southern can offer you right now. You got an athletic program. You don't have a permanent AD. A lot of things working against South Carolina State. If I'm Chennis, you done been here before. You've won here before. You've had special teams here before. You know what it is.
Okay.
Come on.
Zoe, your Chennis Berry, where you going?
I'm just gonna be opposite guy because I ain't gonna say the obvious. I'm gonna make a case for Texas Southern.
Really?
I'm gonna make a case for Texas Southern. No name. It's in Houston. I can recruit. I'm familiar with the division because I coached at Southern.
They can pay you. They can definitely pay you.
They can pay you. They can pay you.
They can pay
you. Also, because they can pay me, they probably not gonna pay everybody else, and I can take my whole staff from Benedict and bring them over with me, and they still getting raises. So there's continuity there.
Ooh.
And yeah, I can do something because what's the best way for any coach to make some acclaim for himself? If he goes to Southern to win next year, Southern was just in the SWAC championship game the year prior to me being 2 years prior to me being there, and Southern has a pedigree for having success. Texas Southern don't. So again, if I take nothing and turn it into something that does more for me than me just going to a South Carolina State who has success, Southern who has success. If I can take Texas Southern and make it something.
But you've already done that with Benedict. Before Chennis got to Benedict,
they were unknown. But I like what Zoe is saying because I did it at Benedict, and they gave me the time to do it. I can go to Southern. They're going to give me the time. And Zoe, I'm not going to lie to you. That's it. Like you really just mind warped me, man. Because I'm thinking South Carolina State because I'm like, to me, Southern is the biggest headache, and I don't know if it's worth it, right? Because the expectations that come with Southern is like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, really, this is what you like, oh, we got to win 9. You're like, hey, relax. And, let me get in. Let me get my feet wet. It's the expectations are too unrealistic for me. I like South Carolina State because I told BJ and I told you, Zoe, they remind me of the Steelers. They're just a solid program. They're going to give you the time to do what you need to do. They're going to be behind you 100%. We're going to ride with you through the ups, downs, and the bad. But the Texas Southern is like this. Hey, man, we'll pay you whatever you want, and we don't have no expectations. we don't have no expectations. Win a game, win 2 games, we'll fulfill the contract. B, look decent at times, beat Prairie View. We ain't never done that. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I like it. You really mind warped me on that one, though. But I ain't gonna I like it. I like it. I love it.
I would say what
I'll go ahead, BJ. I'm sorry.
I would say 2 of the toughest jobs on there is Texas Southern and Clark Atlanta. Listen to this, Scotty. Clark Atlanta since 1991. You know how many seasons they've had at 500 or better?
2.
Since 1991, 2 seasons of 500 or better. Not to be outdone, Texas Southern. Do you know how many seasons of 500 or better they've had since 1991?
5.
4.
You Bama's be knowing, boy. You Bama's be on it.
And I'm gonna say why I said because I'm looking for Southern, and I know I don't care how people feel about this. I'm looking for Southern to go out of the realm of the HBCUs, right? Because everybody that I see writing something, HBCU Gameday, HBCU Sports, and anybody else that's writing something, the only thing that they're naming of candidates are only HBCU guys. Fort Valley. I saw even Virginia Union. I saw Chennisberry. For me, it's cool to give these guys opportunities. It's cool to do this, but can we step outside of the HBCU realm? Because I'm going to say this. When it comes to football, it's not HBCU. It's football. Yeah. And when it comes to football, FCS Division I, you are a Division I football team. You're not just HBCU matters not to the football team. HBCU matters to the school. Yeah. Because guess what? HBCU is the culture. When you got red bean and rice and fried chicken Monday, when you got pretty Wednesday at the Union, that's the culture right there. But when it comes to football, football has no boundaries, right? You'll go to an all PWI white school and see the football team is what? Pretty much predominantly black.
Yeah.
So for me, I want to look around. I don't like being stuck in this bubble that we got to have black coaches from HBCUs to only coach HBCUs. I want to get out of that realm, and to me, that's the easy thing. That's the easy route out because he's familiar. He's probably coached at your school or coached at a school near you that you was associated with. Get out of that and reach out there and really see what the pool is like out there.
That's not a bad idea.
I'll tell you what. I'll ask you and BJ a question then. How often and how many times do you have any one particular AD that says, you know what, I have a guy in mind that's off the beaten path, that's not tied to an HBCU? Because in the way that you're presenting it, we would have to take that if someone off the beaten path that's not an HBCU actually apply for the job. So my thing is, number one, first thing is, how often does that happen? Because it does happen, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But then the second thing is, how many ADs will say, I'm going to fire my coach because I got a particular coach in my crosshairs that I want to go after that's not a part of the HBCU world? How often does that happen?
Yeah.
Not too often. Let me read you off, and that's a good point. So let me read you off. Somebody sent me on my text number. I'm not gonna say your name, but shout out to you. You know who you are. He gave me some suggestions for and Perry and Zoe, and y'all give me your thoughts on his ideas for some Southern head coach. He said Jabbar Jalouk, current running back coach at Florida Southern alum, former head coach at Edna Carr, so he knows Louisiana. Brennan Marion, current OC at UNLV, runs the go-go offense. UNLV averaged 36 points a game, has HBCU experience, was the OC at Howard from 17 to 18 when they upset UNLV. Lovie Smith, you already know what that is. And Dale McGee, current running back coach at UGA, was the interim coach at Georgia Southern in 2015, would bring the winning culture from UGA, has to Southern. Any of those guys jump out at you or anything like that?
Go ahead, Pierre.
I like it and I hear it, but for me, those are names of candidates coming out of a pool, out of the HBCU realm. I have my own. I mean, I look at a guy like Jerry Mack at Tennessee.
He's not coming.
Coach.
You're not coming.
You're not coming.
I'm just throwing names out there, right? Former coach, North Carolina Central, and was offensive coordinator at Rice. But let me tell y'all something. And they can call me whatever they want. I wouldn't be opposed to getting a white coach. That's just
me.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would look at the FCS top 25 and I would look at programs and say, all of these programs right now look like they can come into the SWAC and probably have some success. I would then look at their facilities and look at everything in which they're doing and say, are they dealing with similar situations to what we're dealing with here when we talk about low resource institution? Because let's look, quite frankly, when you look at the FCS top 25, it ain't like they world beaters when it's going to get talent. It ain't like they recruiting the top talent in the nation. What they're doing, they're developing talent.
Facts.
And it ain't like they won't bring in black coaches and play black players. Because let's take Alcorn, for example, with Jay Hopkins. I mean, a lot of people can say what they want, but he is literally what Alcorn is today. And what did he do? He built that thing from the inside out. It was the trench play. Remember them big Samoans Alcorn got at that O-line? Hey, mama called them refrigerators. She said, Perry, they took 2 out and put 2 more in. It was like, I don't know where they was getting them from. But for real, honestly, I would not be opposed. And there's 3 guys that I look at probably for the Southern job. And they're white coaches, and 3 of those guys, their teams are in the FCS top 25. One is Sacramento State's head coach, Andy Thompson. Took over the program first year. He was the defensive coordinator. If you look at their stats statistically, they're one of the best defenses in the Big Sky as well as in the nation. He's a former defensive guy. I look at Incarnate Word, UIW.
Yeah.
I look at their head coach. He's 7-2 in his first year, 5-1. I also look at a guy at Western Carolina, Curran Bell. That's
my guy there.
Huh?
That's my guy there.
I like him. He coached the Division II National Championship at Valdosta State. He's at Western Carolina right now, who's number 18 in the nation. He's 104-55 as a head coach. He's had a 15-year career head coaching at Jacksonville, Valdosta State, and Western Carolina. These are guys, to me, that when you talk about programs. And that's what, at this point for Southern, you're looking for a program. You're not looking for a guy just in and out of the transfer
Yeah,
portal.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you saw that success short-lived at Grambling, right? And you saw that up and down that Prairie View, and you see it up and down that Southern. These are guys that I feel, and at the same time, Nicholls State head coach. Have you seen Nicholls State's roster? Everybody talked about Dooley saying he can recruit the state of Louisiana. Go look at Nicholls State's roster and look at the position that they're in now. They're going to have a big game this week tonight. Matter of fact, they're playing Southeastern tonight.
Southeastern tonight.
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they pretty much wrapped up the Southland. And what he's done at Nicholls State, recruiting the state and bringing in home talent and having success. Those are guys that I'm looking at, and I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in a white coach because at the end of the day, what am I about? I'm about winning football games, and what am I about? Am I trying to be the best HBCU football team, or do I want to be a prominent FCS program, and we lose prominent FCS program because we entrench ourselves too deep in HBCU football programs?
I like it. I love it.
I would add another coach, but before I even do that, the one issue too is that I think some of us still live in this false reality of, you know, we get a coach and we want to try to hire somebody, and the thought process is make this hire for this coach that's going to be here 10 to 15 years. And I don't really think you can look at it like that. You got to look at it like, hey, I want to get a guy under contract and fulfill a contract, and then we can renew. And if we happen to get him for 8 years, then that's a win for us, obviously. But the main thing is winning. But I would add Ty Cooley to it, the head coach at Delta State. And his age, 48 years old, winning consistently at Delta State. They want to be one of the top seeds in the Division II playoffs now. And more people don't know, but the Gulf South Conference is a Valdosta State is there. I mean, it's a football.
The SEC.
It's a football rich conference, and he's had great success in that conference. And again, recruits well. I mean, he had success against HBCUs. I mean, I don't see any reason why he should be a valuable option. But let's keep it a buck. You know, the majority of us aren't going to do that because, you know, we don't want to have the point where we're hiring a bunch of white guys. It's just not going to happen because of the HBCUs. We should look at it that way, but we're not going to tap this, right? That's the reason why it's not going to happen. And
BJ, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
The FCS landscape, what are we looking at for people to understand the typical salary? And let's just take some teams from the FCS top 25. What are the salaries that you're looking at from those programs, considering what a Southern would actually be willing to pay?
I will tell you this, that SWAC coaches' contracts are way out of whack. I'm going to give you an example. Coach Stiegelmeyer at South Dakota State just won the national championship. He just got a raise, all right, which was a huge raise, all right? That raise got him to 320. Before that raise, he had a raise when he was knocking on the door to the semifinals. That raise got him to 248. For the most of his career at South Dakota State, he's been in the high 190s, low 200s.
We got that at Southern. I call him and say, bro, hey, look what I got for you over here. And what you gonna get in the incentives? What you gonna get from the television?
But see, this is my
Perry. I got one better. They're gonna end up paying Dooley more out to leave than what he was paying on this contract before he got his raise.
This is my thing. But these coaches understand staffs. When I take most of the budget, for me, I don't have anything to divvy out to pay a good OC, a good DC. Go ahead, Zo.
I was about to say, BJ's right. Because let me give you a real good breakdown. You'll have a head coach making $300,000, OC making $85,000, DC might be making $90,000, $95,000, running back coach making $75,000, another position coach making about $65,000. It's a huge discrepancy when it's like, okay, you know what? You can pay your head coach $200,000. Now you got your OC probably making $150,000. Your DC might be making $125,000 or flip it however you want.
However you want it. Yeah, however you want
it. But I feel like you'll be more apropos to get more success if you got your position coaches where everybody's around the same thing, where everybody's around 90, 95 to 100. If you take a little less and then use the incentives if you win, because let's keep it a book. if I'm gonna use Perry, if we go outside the HBCU landscape and you get this contract lined up that way, those coaches, you're not gonna be paying their salary for a long time, no way, because they're gonna win and they're gonna leave because they're gonna move on.
But that's the program aspect that I'm talking about. Because how many coaches, when you look at the North Dakotas, the Sacramento States, the South Dakota States, when they leave the next guy up, the program goes. You look at UIW.
They step right in place. They
pay does too, though. But the pay does too.
Yeah. But and the formula is there. And all I want to do is create the formula for success for a program to where you don't have to deviate, because what those programs do is typically the next guy up that's on the staff because he's following the formula. Look at North Dakota State. Everybody's being hired from within. South Dakota State, everybody's hired from within. I just told you about Sacramento State. The guy that's there now, Andy Thompson, he was the defensive coordinator when their coach left to go coach at Stanford. Guess what? Andy Thompson took Sacramento State to Stanford and beat them this year. UIW the same way. They've been through 3 coaches. Everybody came from the staff.
Well, guess what?
For me,
that's what the SWAC used to do. That's what the SWAC used to do.
It's about
what the SWAC used to do. You would look if you go look at Eddie Robinson's coaching tree, man, damn it, go look at W.C. Gordon's coaching tree. Cardell Jones, Alcorn, Big Daddy, Houston. Coach Markham at Alabama State. Like all these coaches went to other schools in the SWAC and won. The SWAC used to do this, not just at Jackson State. Now Grambling did the same thing. The only mainstay was Eddie Robinson, but he had tons of assistant coaches to lead. What's the guy from Fort Valley State, man? Doug Porter, I think his name is.
Yeah, Porter.
Doug. He was a long OC at Grambling. He pretty much built Fort Valley State into what it was. They had this was a well-known thing in the SWAC. Why we got away from it, I don't know. But we did that, Perry. Now the money wasn't what it was back then, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But the continuity from coach leave and all we do is hire from within and keep the train rolling. We did that.
Alcorn, prime example. Jay Hopkins leave, Fred McNair kept that thing rolling. Now he's kind of seemed like he's on the back end, but that's a prime example of it. Fred McNair stepped in and hell, what did he do? The foundation was set, and that's all I'm saying. Get you one of these guys in here to at least get you the foundation, the program. Build yourself into a FCS power. You take out HBCU. I don't want to hear that no more when we talk about football because it limits us. I even hate it when I'm watching our football and this guy is the best in HBCU football. No, he's the best in FCS or one of the best. And let's put ourselves in a new plateau and say, hey, this is a FCS program. This is what we want to build, and this is where we want to go, being sustainable, bringing in and developing talent, and also developing young coaches, giving them opportunities to where these guys, if that coach does decide to move on, you got somebody from within that can pick up and follow the formula.
All right, BJ, your last point, and then I'm going to have one last question for the group, and then we'll move on. We get to the Saturday pick.
I'll say this. Furman, many to believe that Furman is a legitimate national championship contender this year, right? And there's not many national championship contenders in the South with FCS, right? Furman's coach makes $248,000 a year. Imagine what that would put him salary-wise ranked in the SWAC, and I think Furman is ranked in the top 10 right now.
Well, he probably
Furman is actually the number 2 team in the nation right now behind South Dakota State.
Wow.
Right. So they're what, 3 in stats, 2 in coaches, and he makes $248,000 a year.
He'll probably do what, about 5 or 6 in this way?
He'll probably be number 5 or 6.
Yeah, about 5 or 6. But he's number 2 in the nation.
Like, I don't understand why you don't go talk to these guys. And I know it's a lot of pride and it's a lot of other things. But when you look at the FCS top 25 and you look at these guys having success and you don't get on the phone and talk to these guys saying, look what I have.
I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of those guys aren't feeling those phone calls. I'm just going to be real with you. A lot of those guys, they're not feeling those phone calls. I'm going to give you Steve Meyer has been at South Dakota State. He's been the head coach for 27 years or something like that. He's built them from NAIA Division II, built them to FCS to what they are. A lot of those guys are from those areas, from those regions, and they're not trying to go to get out of those regions. The guys that do get out of those regions, let's look at the history of it, right? A lot of them don't fare well when you get them out of those regions and out of those areas. And let's say they come down south and they take another job. One of the few exceptions with that was Keeler, who left Delaware to go to Sam Houston. He was able to keep that same success. But when you see some of those other guys that maybe left of Montana, that left some of those other schools and took a job at Stephen F. Austin and some of these down south powers, they don't have the same success. And it's for a multitude of different reasons. The recruiting is different. When I'm in Montana, I'm the show.
Yeah.
All right. I'm the program. I'm not used to coming to Texas or Georgia, Alabama, where people already look at my program as Division II. Because you know what I'm saying? So it changes a lot. So that's why a lot of those guys, they don't leave.
That makes sense. Now, guys, one last question real quick so we can move to these Super Saturday picks. If A&M comes available, is it a desirable job? Yes or no, and explain why. Perry, you can pop it off. No homo.
In a state that has plenty of FCS and FBS programs, that is talent rich, me personally, I don't think it's quite a desirable job, because really when you got Alabama A&M, you got the Magic City Classic. It is tough getting their fans to the game. I think it is tough to get the support. And you see everything that the athletic director is trying to do to engage people, to get them to buy into it. Now, Huntsville, yes, a desirable place. It is one of the fastest growing metropolitan areas in the United States. There are some Fortune 500 companies. It is great when you look at community for the size of the city that it is. So if you're looking for quality of life, the beauty of the campus, the setup in which they have, in an AD that seems to will support you, I will put that and start checking boxes. But just overall, I have yet to see people truly care about Alabama A&M outside of the Magic City Classic or playing Tuskegee. That's going to be the thing about it.
All right. Zoe, is it a desirable job? Yes or no? Why?
I say no. For all the reasons that Perry said. Fan support is not there. And I mean, it's been that way for a long time. It's fan support. I can't speak to financial support. I'm not at liberty even to go there, but I would say the perception is it's not there. And again, that goes to what I also said too about, what is the school and the athletic program really going to do with regards to support to make the job attractive? Because the perception as it is right now, it isn't. Before Maynard, you had Anthony Jones. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Jones, they won what, one swag title or two? One. They won one swag title.
Spady first.
Spady.
Yeah,
and then it's like, and then before him, Cooper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like nothing's changed. That's 5 coaches. Nothing has changed. I mean, nothing. I mean, from a perception standpoint, facility standpoint, nothing has changed. So again, what's going to change when I come? So that's why I say no.
That's fair. BJ, last point. Is it a desirable job? Yes or no?
It depends on what you're looking for. I grew up around Alabama A&M. Look, you said what you said about Huntsville. One of the things that hurts Alabama A&M from an attendance standpoint is not that they don't have attendance, they don't have support. It's that their support has to drive in. All right. They are literally, if they play every home game in Birmingham, their attendance would look that much better.
Oh wow!
Because that's where the most of their alumni is at. Huntsville, Alabama A&M is one of the few HBCUs located in the city that's not majority black. All right. Matter of fact, the entire Huntsville metropolitan area is only 30% black. Woo. All right. So you have that going against you. Number 2, Huntsville is a transit city. It's either all military, all engineers, people that have no tie to no university, not from the state of Alabama. These are transit people coming from everywhere. They ain't thinking about Alabama A&M. So for Alabama A&M, for their fans to get going, and you don't have these large pockets of black communities to pull from in North Alabama. North Alabama's just not black like that. So you have that going against you. And to be honest with you, it's hard to recruit to Alabama. And then when I got kids coming in and there's 3,000-4,000 people in the state, that is hard to that's hard to recruit to. So it takes the right guy. To me, Anthony Jones was the guy. Alabama A&M people didn't like winning 13-7 no more. They saw everybody else scoring points. They said, "Hey man, we gotta go get somebody to go score points." In comes James Spady from Nevada, the pistol offense, and all this other stuff that he's working on these FBS staffs and this, that, and the other. And you see what happens. Now you have Cornell Maynard, which I say you should look at Cornell Maynard's success or lack of success at Hampton, but that's just me. You get Cornell Maynard, you get a spring championship. It makes you feel good. They hung that banner up. It's on side of the stadium, and now it's back to normal. So it takes a special guy to be there. But overall, no, it's not that attractive as a job. I think you have to go get a guy like a Sam Shade at Miles College, an up and coming guy who can coach his butt off.
BJ, sound like they need a white coach. If they're a predominantly white area, sound like they need to
Hold on.
crowd.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. There's a white coach that wanted the Alabama State and Alabama A&M job bad, and he told one of those institutions, "I want your job so bad, I will walk to do it." His name is Will Hall. He's the current head coach at Southern Miss. Look at Will Hall's record at West Alabama and at West Georgia and see what he's done. And I think Will Hall is like 42 years old. And he's coach. He was
the legend.
And they didn't take him. They didn't take him because he was white.
His dad is a Mississippi legend. He was a damn good OC at Tulane too before he came to at USM.
So if you're in a city where you're struggling, where the black population is low, you got to then target the population of the city to see if you can get them to come to your games. Because let's be frank, you don't necessarily got to go to my school to be a casual fan, right? I'm seeing when Deion getting white folks coming to Jackson and doing all of the videos about it, right? You know, so if that's what it takes in order to attract people, the average casual fan that ain't got nothing to do on a Saturday, hey, come over to Alabama A&M and watch football. If that's what it takes, because the bottom line, it ain't about if you like me. Now, the bottom line is about selling damn tickets. And if that's what you got to do in order to get that community behind you, you got to follow what the community is. We know what your school is, but once again, football ain't HBCU. Football is Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, and so forth, FBS, FCS. So if the name of the game is to sell tickets and get talent and get people to come there, you got to think in football and stop thinking in HBCU.
All right, listen, we're going to get to these Super Saturday picks. We're going to try to keep this short and sweet. I ain't going to try to keep you guys here long. We just got to try to knock this out about 20 to 30 minutes. Just need you guys to give me your picks, break down the game, give you a surmise of the game, and we'll move forward. First up for Super Saturday, PV, Alabama State. We know what PV controls their destiny going into this game. They win this game, they automatically are back in the SWAC championship. Alabama State riding I believe a 5-game winning streak, defensively being led by Bubba and those guys. Got to start with the Alabama guy. BJ, talk to me about this one.
Man, look, listen here, Prairie View folks. You have a championship on the line, and you have a home game to clinch a berth into the conference championship. There is no reason y'all should have a minimum 10,000 people in that stadium. But knowing y'all have about 3,000 people end up going push them back. And it ain't going to be enough. Give me Alabama State. I think that Keyshawn Johnson is going to be too much. The Prairie View offensive line is not good. That ain't a good thing when you got this Alabama State defense coming in and what they're able to do in the front seven. I think that Alabama State is too physical up front for them. I like Alabama State. I think they're hot right now. I like Alabama State's chances to finish this season 8-3.
I like it. BJ, give me a score.
I'll take Bama State, man. Let me take a 21-13.
21-13. I like it. Zoe, what you got?
I believe Alabama State is going to win, but I'm going with PV.
Ooh.
I picked PV to win the West this year before the season. Alabama State, it's going to be a tough road to hold, man. Alabama State defense with what Prairie wants to do on offense, Plus, I think Alabama State has the best player on the field in Johnson. But I just think Conley, for some odd reason, is going to be a game of this game. It's going to be closer than the experts think. I'm going to get my Lee Corso on. I'm going to roll with PV 17-14.
Not so fast, man.
You just stole my th- I was definitely finna hit him with it, Scotty. You know, we talked about this Monday, so I'll keep it short. For me, this is for my top 5 that I put out. This is a top 5 matchup with Prairie View and for Alabama State. This is a game that you want at the end of the season because something is on the line for Prairie View. If they win, they're SWAC West champs, and they're in a similar situation to what they were last year. They had to go on the road to Mississippi Valley, and it was right there in their grasp. Win this game, you go to the SWAC championship. They found a way to squander it against a team that you least expected them to squander it against in a blowout fashion. This week, an Alabama State team comes in who's number 3 right now on my top 5 with a 5-game winning streak and seems to be a much improved team with Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. But Bubba McDowell, this is obviously a time for him to get a signature win. He came to Baton Rouge and beat Eric Dooley and got him out of a job. Can he continue that momentum at home, get the fans there?
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
I'm going to have to call him something else because I'm going to get got every time. As Mr. Campbell called him, Gucci D. You know?
Right.
So, PV has won their last 2 games, beating Pine Bluff and beating Southern. This is an opportunity for them to solidify themselves and make up for what they squandered last year with a really good victory over the second best team in the SWAC East Division. I think this will do them well. I'm going PV in this one.
Yeah, listen. They say defense wins championships. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. And Alabama State damn sure got a good one. If I'm an Alabama State fan, I'm looking at Eddie Robb. I'm happy, but I'm still looking at him kind of side-eye because I'm like, if we go with Damon Stewart early in the season, what could we have possibly have been at this moment now? So that's neither here nor there. So for me, I'm going Bama State on this one. I think defensively, PV ain't ready for them. They just ain't ready for them guys. Now, once again, like Zoe said, Keyshawn is the best player on the field, and he's going to give you one. And I tell BJ every time, Keyshawn Johnson gonna get you one, okay? He gonna get you a touchdown some way, somehow. He gonna get you one.
Or a huge play.
You know what I'm saying? It's bound to happen, and usually he's the game breaker for them, and it gets 14-7, and they don't look back. So I got it being a close one. I got it 17-14. Bama State pulls it out. All right, let's move on to the next one. You know me. I love it. Up north, in the cold, real football is being played in November. Do you hear me? Morgan State and Howard. Huge matchup. Howard controls his destiny. They win this game. They are in to the Celebration Bowl. Morgan State looking to play spoiler against Howard. Let's start it with BJ. BJ, Morgan State. Oh, I started with you last time. Let's go, Perry. Perry, starting with you. Morgan State, Howard, what you got?
Go back to Monday. I like this matchup for me. This similarly, it has game of the week written all over it. Both teams struggled as the season went on because of their non-conference schedule, and they've shown that they can go out and compete. Morgan State had Akron up against the ropes, right? You look at Howard. They had Eastern Michigan and Northwestern up against the ropes. These are 2 teams that defensively, you want to see what they're going to look like. Howard's offense has been inconsistent. Morgan, what offense, right? But Morgan does something well in the special team game along with their defense. I like this matchup. Howard controls their own destiny. They tied at the number 5 spot for me in this week's poll. They're 3-1 in their last 4 games. And no better way than to make up for what happened last year, put 50 up on the Eagles of North Carolina Central, and then have this as a position at home to win your conference outright this time and go to the Celebration Bowl. But I'm going to go Morgan State in this one. I think Morgan State has shown all season that they can compete. And this seems like the game that they've been looking for all season to get over the hump. They fell short to North Carolina Central. I think Morgan gets that quality win they've been looking for and spoil Howard's chances of going to the Celebration Bowl.
All right, so what you got, Morgan versus Howard?
Man, this game is tough. I'm actually going back and forth on this. I want to say Morgan. I think I'm probably going to end up rolling with Morgan because of the defense. But as good as their defense is, that's just how putrid their offense is. And but they have the kind of defense where they can score on defense, though. So that's the thing about Morgan. Howard, it's gonna be tough to get emotionally back up this week like they were last week for that game that they played against Carolina Central, and that's gonna be the thing. So, damn, it's like I want to say Howard, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna roll with Morgan, man. And it's gonna be a low scoring game too because Morgan defense is nasty. Man, I'm gonna say 17. No, I'm gonna say 14-9.
Whoa! Can't get no uglier than that. That is some up north football.
Hey, Zoe, give him that old 3-2 right quick. Give him that 3-2.
Hey, real talk. I actually went to a 3-2 game when Cam Newton was at Auburn. They beat Mississippi State 3-2.
Wow.
True story.
That was the year before you got there.
Yeah. 3-2.
All right, BJ. Howard Morgan.
Hey, look, people sleep on Howard's defense. Howard has the number one pass defense in the MEAC. They're number one as far as the first downs allowed. They're number two in total defense in the MEAC. The only team they're behind from a defensive standpoint is Morgan State. Howard has the number one offense in the MEAC. Number one passing offense, number one rushing offense. I know we give Davis a lot of credit, but Howard is doing it. And the leading passer right now in the MEAC is Quentin Williams. I think that Howard closes the deal. They haven't been in this position in a long time. I think this game got 10-7 written all over it, 13-10. It ain't gonna be a lot of points, but I think Howard can get it done, and I think that they'll head on to Atlanta.
All right, listen
about the BJ is that the last time Quentin Williams faced a defense this good was SWAC MEAC Challenge against Alabama State. You saw how he looked in that.
And
game.
he looked
long.
You saw and Zoe, see Perry. I stole Perry's done this. Zoe, you stole. It's queued up. It all comes down to what Q Williams you see, because that Quentin Williams I saw against NCCU, man, it looked like he had the game.
Yeah.
He saw it perfectly. What's up, P?
That game was just personal though. Like, I mean, you look at the backstory. Trey Oliver, like, why they got rings? We ain't no need for a MEAC championship when we already hung 50 on them. You know, it was a lot of talk that they just took that game personal. I don't think there's nothing personal against Morgan State. This is just gonna be football. But what they did to North Carolina Central was something that they had been holding in and just letting it fester up for a year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with BJ, and I said it on the show on Monday. It is hard to get up for another emotional like that, especially when you felt like you've won your Super Bowl last week, right? And in the way you did it as well. Listen, I think those guys that they got in the backfield, Casey Hawthorne, Eden James, Jared Hunter, them boys are bad boys. But listen, there's a thing about going to get a guy out the portal and he being everything is advertised, and that's Jordan Tolles. You go get him, and you just hope he's what he's advertised to be, and he's everything and some. And the way they have built, and the way Damon and Sewell have built that defense from last year till now is just night and day. And to me, I got a text, and this what happened on Monday. I didn't tell you this, people. I got a text from a coach from the Morgan State staff and said, hey, Elijah Williams is that guy, and he's going to show you why he's that guy. Don't pick against us. I went with Morgan State, and I'm going to continue to roll with Morgan State.
Yeah, you flipped on me Monday. You flipped on me because I thought you was all ain't you, because you've been talking to me about Howard for 12 damn weeks.
I've been very high on Howard.
Hey,
but
so BJ, he been telling me about Howard, been in this top 5 for 12 damn weeks. And then he gonna wait till the time it really mattered, and then go against. I can't believe this.
Hey man, that's called buy low to the high.
Yeah.
It's marketing 101, they'll play.
Howard definitely needs to be. Boy, I was promoting some Howard in the losses. I was still rocking with Howard, but it's going to come down to, because I don't believe they're going to be able to run on Morgan at all.
No,
but my thing is what Quentin Williams, because I'm telling you, you go back and watch the Hampton game with Quentin Williams. He throws some balls that you're just like, why that one, right? So there's a lot of those scenarios, and I think Q Will might get caught up in something. Short field, turnover, boom, boom, and Howard and Morgan puts it in. I got to be in 17-14. Morgan State pulling out. And don't be surprised if a kick return gets taken, a punt return, kick return gets taken to the house as well.
That was going to be my point. That special teams of Morgan, too, can beat you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, Florida Classic, full effect. In absolute full effect. This game, from what I've been told from many, they said, listen, Scotty, throw the records out. They said it's been times when it's been great Bethune-Cookman teams and FAMU's came in and beat them, and there's been some great FAMU teams, and Bethune has come in and beat them as well. Said throw the records all out. So starting with you, Florida Classic, who you got?
FAMU. I know you going to the championship. You better not lose the game. You better not lose this game. I'm picking FAM. But boy, if y'all lose this game, man, y'all gonna break Al Green internet. If y'all lose this game. I'll tell you, bro, the internet gonna break if y'all lose this game. I'm rolling with FAM. I ain't high on Musa, it ain't no secret. But man, nobody can stop Sheree, man. So and I don't think Bethune-Cookman will neither. So I'm rolling with FAM. But boy, if y'all lose, it's gonna get Lil Wayne ugly Saturday night.
Boy. Perry White, what you got, Florida Classic?
I'm gonna go with FAMU, but this is interesting. FAMU, of course, my number one team in black college football, riding an 8-game win streak coming into this game. But Bethune-Cookman did something last week I didn't see coming. They beat Alabama A&M, and they did it by running the ball. 412 rushing yards on the ground. Walter Simmons III was able to put up 165 off of 16 carries and 3 touchdowns. Jamie Robinson III, 25 carries, 137 yards. And Mekhi Shaw, 12 carries, 109 yards. Let's see, can they run on this FAMU defense? I'll be interested to see can they run on it because it seems like they want to run by committee, and I want to see what that's going to look like. But I'm rolling with FAMU.
What's your score?
A lot to a little.
I mean,
if you're going to run the ball,
run on this deep.
Well, because when you're running, you really put yourself behind the A-ball, fam. You can get down the field if they need to. They got some playmakers. Marcus Riley is one of those playmakers. Yeah. And if Jeremy Musa can get going throwing the ball in this game, it can get ugly. But this is a rivalry game. I just think it'll be a lot to a little. I'm going to go FAMU. No score, but I think FAMU gets it done. They got to make a statement to going into the SWAC championship.
24-7.
What you got, BJ? Yikes.
FAMU 34-13. I ain't finna sit here and draw up a whole bunch of stuff and tell you that Bethune-Cookman can do X, Y, and Z. Look, FAMU is more talented. They have the better football team. They're on a mission. I think that Bethune-Cookman will give it the old college try in the first quarter. And I think, man, that it might be 7-3. But after that, man, once FAMU floors it, it's over.
Absolutely, I'm totally agreeing. Listen, he almost stole my score. I'm on that bandwagon because listen, they are a second half team. There's no doubt about it. FAMU is a second half team, and if they're up on you going into the halftime, I don't care how bad they're playing. That second half is going. It's a tsunami coming. And listen, and I'm gonna go back to Howard real quick. If Howard's as good as I think they are, they need to win that game against Morgan. But I still pick Morgan, but I'm just saying, if Howard is as good as they think they are, which I thought they are, they win that game. All right, but FAMU by a lot, not even close. All right, here we go. So it's on you, baby. Now, do you want to go last? Or you want to go first? It's up to you.
I go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Look at him in the spotlight.
Look, I saw G the other night. I'm going to tell him because he made a comment about, in his lifetime. And I'm like, well, you ain't been living long because I'm older than you. And in my lifetime, we the one way more. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we up on them by like 15 games. So I want to tell them you still way behind the ear because I see way more dubs than L in Jackson and at Port Gibson State. So, man, I think it's no secret. I've told everybody our biggest thing is tackling. Which Jackson State defense is going to show up. If we tackle well, we win this game. If we don't, we lose. Point blank period. I know they have it. Alcorn hasn't really ran Howard as much, but it's a rivalry game. Throw records out. And Alcorn wants to run the ball. That's Fred McNair's thing. No matter who the OC is, no matter what rushing attack they have, they want to run the ball. But again, the main thing over everything is can Jackson State tackle. There's some teams that have been shored up. We got a lot of key players back. Irvin's back. JD is back. The running game is there. And I think Jacobian, I think he'll probably get about a good 225 this game.
Passing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think we get this dub, man. Go 8-3 in TC's first year. If I had to pick the score, man, I'm gonna pretty much roll. And I'm tired of saying crackhead D. They like dope fiend D last week. So I'm gonna roll. And I'm gonna say 31-10.
Whoa!
Ooh.
110?
Yeah.
The disrespect. You
Ooh.
that's one of them mass meeting. That's one of them mass meeting answers right there. That's one of the,
If you check the history, typically when we win, we bend them over and give it to them.
that. Okay, I'll say this. That last year, even with Dion at 24-13, that's because they had a freshman quarterback. I ain't even gonna hold you because that game defensively, Alcorn had y'all number. You know, and then Travis Hunter gives you 7 with the. Oh, that was an amazing catch. So you know, it's just those. You ain't got them guys no more.
Hold on, but I can go to like other games. I mean, I had Lamonte Ivy, wasn't even good at quarterback, and we take him and we take a racetrack and just beat him on our knees. I can name even worse teams, and we gave it to him. I mean, it's what we do.
Okay. Hey, listen, you know it's your rivalry. I get you, BJ. What you got? You over there smirking? What you got?
Man, so looking at this matchup, before last week, I said Alcorn beats Jackson State. And Alcorn goes to Texas Southern and looks like Alcorn from last year. The Alcorn team from last Saturday can't beat Jackson State. But I feel like when Alcorn is running this in all cylinders, man, look, they got to get Aaron Allen going. That young man, he has to get going. Jarvion Howard has to get going. And there's some opportunities on Jack. You can take some shots at Jackson State's defense. They're ranked 7th in the SWAC in rushing D, 5th in total D. They can be had on the ground. And if Jackson State is had on the ground and Jarvion Howard and that group gets to going, it's going to be a long day. For some reason, I don't know why, for reasons unbeknownst to me, I think Jackson State wins it. I don't know why, but just let me take Jackson State, and I think it's close.
All right. Give me a score. How close?
23-21.
Yikes. Can't get no closer than that. P, what you got?
Man, look, Jackson State 3-game winning streak coming in here. They're in my top 5 this week. They're at the number 4 spot. Something about this just make me feel like Jackson wants to prove something. I found out how much of a rivalry is because this guy just called them Port Gibson State. I've never heard that in my life. I didn't even know that was a thing. The first thing I did was look at that shirt behind you, Scotty. I saw the PSU and I thought about Port Gibson State University. Like, that's exactly what that shirt says now. Forever. Yeah, that's what that is. You know, but Alcorn, how do you get boat race last week? You just completely got dominated. And the fact that you said Irv Mulligan is back. Irv Mulligan early on was my favorite candidate for maybe going for newcomer of the year and as well as possibly SWAC offensive player of the year. His injury, he got something to prove. He's coming back. This is the last game of the season. Jackson State is right there in the thick of things with Bama State over in that SWAC East. And Alcorn just squandered it away last week, getting dominated because guess what? They couldn't stop the pass and they couldn't stop the run. And they had Texas Southern play a complete game and almost put 500 yards. They was 1 yard shot, 499 yards of total offense on them last week. I think now that Jackson State has Irv Mulligan, it's going to help open up the run game. I think they'll be able to run first, throw when they need to. And I'll take them in this game up in the vet at Jackson, and it's going to be rocking. I just think that home field advantage, Jackson State being able to feel the way that they do, saying Alcorn, you still ain't on our level. I'm going to roll Jackson State. And TC needs this game.
He does. Especially after losing homecoming. Let me say this. It's no secret. I can't stand Jack State fans. It's nothing does me nothing better than see them in misery and sad. My thing is this. I said it on Monday, and I just don't know. One, is Irv Mulligan in football playing condition? Is he in football playing shape? You've been out for a while. Zoe probably knows. Is he in game? Is he game ready condition? I do not know. Jacoby and Morgan. This is probably the biggest game he's played in the last 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks he's been playing some scrubs, straight scrubs, right? UAPB, Valley, and another scrub team. All right. So Texas Southern, but we know what they did to Alcorn. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Okay, I get it. right? So for me, it's a lot of question mark factors in what, and I think Alcorn just overlooked Texas Southern. If I'm being honest, I just thought it's a straight trap game. It's what you call it's a straight trap game going into it. I have Alcorn winning the West. I have PV losing to Bama State. I have Alcorn beating Jackson, and they control their destiny. And you have the Alcorn and FAMU matchup that we all pretty much thought or wanted to see. So for me, I have Alcorn winning by 10. I just think they're a better team. Overall, they're just a better team. Offensively, they're better. Defensively, to me, they're just they might not have the stars, they might have the name, but they play well together, and that to me means a lot. And I think offensively, they're just a better team with Montario Hunt, with Rogers, with Jarvion, with Nico, with Aaron. I just think they're a better team. So I got them winning by 10. I think it's a good game. I think it's a close game. I think Jacoby and Morgan, the lights get a little too bright for him. And the moment gets a little too big for him, and Alcorn pulls it out.
Can I put something out there to you guys right quick? This would have been one of those great years when we had this discussion a couple weeks back, Scotty, and I was talking about doing away with the East and West Division and allowing teams to play themselves out. Because when I look at this weekend, the fact that you got FAMU pretty much solidified, but literally Bama State, Jackson State, Alcorn, and Prairie View are all literally right there. And if you do away with those divisions, Bama State and Jackson State really have something to play for, maybe for a SWAC championship once this thing is all said and done. And let's say if Jackson State was to beat Alcorn and Bama State was to beat PV, wouldn't Bama State go to the SWAC championship because they got the head-to-head over Jackson State?
It would.
And you would then eliminate that whole idea of Grambling getting into this and possibly dragging this on for another week. So that's my opinion. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I am a fan moving forward. And this is just my opinion of getting rid of the East and West Division, because this weekend right here, the way that it's adding up, gives you a perfect scenario of letting everybody play it out. And whoever wins and once the dust settle at the end of the day, you're going to have a clear-cut winner in which Bama State could still be playing for something instead of PV.
I think the SIAC shows you exactly why you do it, right? I mean, you play it out. The best record comes out, they go see them, and they play a championship. Listen, that's the best version of football. You support, you encourage the winners. You encourage people who win. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bunch of division. Hey, just go out and win. Do the best you can. You're gonna lose some, but you know what I'm saying? You live to fight another day. So I'm all down.
All that though is that you give the customers what they want. That's the main thing. If you go to the previous 2 years, back-to-back years, if it's Jackson State and FAMU in the SWAC championship game, you know what I'm saying? That's a big draw. That's something that everybody wants to see. You give the customers what they want.
I'll tell you this though, I don't think that FAMU Alabama State game be. Listen, I'm sorry. Second time around, I really don't. In Bragg, nah.
Did you see what happened to PV the last time they went?
Yeah, I'm not. Listen. I just listen. It's really FAMU and everybody else. Now, I do think I think Alabama State matches up well with FAMU because they have the big DBs that can hold, that can stay with FAMU. But just talent wise, you're just not there. Offensively, they're definitely not there. Because I mean, all FAMU got to do is take Keyshawn Johnson away. Then what you got? Nothing. All right, last point, guys. Just want to give you quick thoughts on this, and we're gonna get up out of here. Grambling State with a huge win. Pulls it out over Arizona State. So I've heard you say it time and time again. Basketball and HBCUs could be such a big factor for how we put ourselves on the national platform. Speak to the win.
It's a huge win. And believe it or not, we've actually talked about it. Jackson State is going to have a historical women's basketball team this year. But then I'm telling y'all better pay attention to Dawn Thorne. Look at what she's doing. Zay Green is one. She like that. She like that. You're a dog. Mm-hmm. So and you look at what Grambling did. The talent on the women's. I'm telling if y'all ain't in the women's basketball, man, you're missing out. I'm telling you. And the SWAC has talent across several teams. And I'm trying to think. Somebody else actually played somebody else real close and lost at the tail end. I'm trying to think. Was it Southern? Somebody earlier this week, it escapes me, but
Norfolk just beat Wake Forest. So I mean,
yeah. I'm telling you, from a women's game, it's there. But this is huge because again, we're talking about RPI, and this is early in the conference slate. I think this is Gremlin's second game. So this is early, and we still got everybody got at least another 9 or 10 games, 8 or 9 games left to play on the non-conference slate. So now you're talking about whoever wins the SWAC, instead of you being a 15 or 16 seed, we get a couple more wins. You're talking about a SWAC school, man, being a 12 or even possibly an 11 seed in the tournament. And so what that does, some of y'all who don't know, the higher the seed, the more money you make, as well as the bigger stake that you can receive monetarily in the win that you get in the tournament. Not all wins equate the same money in the NCAA tournament, and it's a crazy money maker. So kudos to Grambling. Hey man, we'll be the Pac-12 school, man. That's huge. That's huge.
Hey, so I'm gonna need that. Give me the date when UAPB and Jack State play. I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to get down there because that game.
We play them twice.
That game gonna be freaking amazing. I can't wait to see that. If you guys got any point to it, and we can get up out of here. Any thoughts on the win?
I just
man,
think
good win, man. Shout out to Grambling.
Yeah, shout out to Grambling. And to Zoe's point, that's what you need. I am big with those non-conference victories. I hate when we see our team stumble into conference play 2 and whatever, 1 and whatever. You need these games as you get into postseason play to help boost the RPI of the conference and help get us in a better position than that 16 seed. And even if you don't, even with a secondary team that may not even make it to the NCAA, you can get a higher seed in the NIT. So all of this plays a part into building the overall profile of the conference, and we needed wins like this, and we need more of them. So I hope we get them. Jackson State, Southern, UAPB, Bama State typically don't let you down as well. Texas Southern girls at one time. Man, if you don't like basketball, pay attention to women's basketball around the SWAC this year. I think they'll give you definitely something to watch.
Absolutely, man.
And one other thing, too, when you mentioned the RPI, if it's higher, then guess what? You know how we all say, oh, the SWAC's a one big league? We don't have to be, y'all. If the RPI is good, you can actually get a champion, and you can get it at large bid. It's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah. No, listen, guys, appreciate you guys. Full fun packed show, gone a little later than I expected, but I know, listen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Everybody, hey, you guys can catch all these Bamas on their own individual show. Real quick, guys, though, where can they know that you catch you at the mass meeting, but go ahead.
The mass meeting.
1400 Club, man. Also, you catch me out on KC 1400 Media Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, man, 10 p.m. Central.
Got you. BJ, where can they catch you at?
Inside the HBCU Sports Labs on Sunday morning with Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, and then Wednesday night, HBCU Nightly.
Hey, Perry White, where can they catch you?
You can catch me Monday nights, outspoken with my man Scotty. You can catch me, huh?
I said, woo woo.
Oh, you can catch me across all social sites as well as YouTube with my On the Yard Sports page that I run. You can catch me on Chopping It Up with Coach Roger Kadar as well as the Jaguar Journal. So that's where I'm at on all of those.
Man, you got more jobs than a Jamaican. And you can also catch them. Well, you used to catch them doing the show with
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang,
hey,
Gucci gang.
And I'm actually doing the show Monday, so I asked the question, what is this going to be? Because we normally change the show with the name of the coach. So I'll just be doing the Jaguar football show on Monday. So
listen,
it'll just be me, no coach.
Hey, listen, you know where you can catch me at here, same time, every time. Hey, listen, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.
All right, y'all.